You got it locked on Roadium Radio.
Due to circumstances beyond anyone's control, Dr. Dre is in the motherfucking house. So right about now, and I say, yo Steve, are you with me? ICE, are you with me?
Here's a little something about a nigga like me. They never should've let me buy tape from Steve. Ice Cube would like to play dope shit mixed by Dr. Dre. And since I was a youth, I like COMPTON. Now I like the motherfucking Roadium. Buying a tape or two, that's what the hell I do. You don't like Tony A? Well, fuck you, this is a game. And I'm in it. Ice Cube will fuck you up in a minute with a right, left, right, making you sick. And then you see Tony A is on the mix.
Tony A! Tony A! When you're ready, go.
Welcome back, everyone, to Roadium Radio episode 249. And I want to thank everybody who tuned in, everybody on the live chat, everybody who liked, subscribed, commented, everybody who supported this since day one, and those of you guys that are just barely tuning in and started supporting us. Want to tell you guys thank you, because we wouldn't be here without you. Always remember this, that Roadium Radio and Tony A only exist because of you guys, of the fans who have supported us throughout the years, throughout the months, throughout the weeks, throughout the days. Because I'm not sure exactly how long you guys have been tuning in, but once again, thank you. And I want to congratulate, I just want to thank everybody for subscribing, because we hit 40K subscribers. I remember when I first started, we went live with 238 subscribers, and now we're at a little bit over 40K. So once again, we wouldn't be here without you. So those of you, once again, interested on wanting to be on Roadium Radio, submit your music, videos, and short bio to rodiumradio@gmail.com, rodiumradio@gmail.com, and somebody will contact you via email. I still get people that send me links to my Instagram and my Facebook, and I respectfully say, and I'm going to continue to repeat this, I will not click on links. I won't, because one thing that I've learned after losing 5 Instagram pages, and by the way, this Tony Vision, the one that you guys follow me on, this is my 6th page. I've never had a page longer than a year, simply because I clicked on links in the past and it's deleted my page. So I will not do it. Do not send me any links. Send them all to rodiumradio@gmail.com. Other than that, the website should be up by the end of this month. So we're changing the domain name. It's still under construction. And you'll still be able to order merch, all that good stuff. So without further ado, you know what? If I have any more announcements, you'll get them right before we go to break, or during the break, or when we come back from break. So without further ado, please allow me to introduce the one and only Twixxy. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
You know what? One thing about me, you'll never catch me down. I'm always good.
That's right.
I'm always good. You know what? I meet people all the time, and not that I make fun of them, but like, oh man, I'm not going through a good day. And I believe me, I respect and I get that, but I've never been like that. I've never been like that, and I thank God for that. So when I wake up, you know what? I always say it's a blessing, because you know what? I tell you what, if I didn't get it right yesterday, I can get it right today.
That's right.
So, but other than that, how was your drive coming over here?
It was pretty crazy. There was so much traffic, and my helium tank went off, so the whole car kind of like started stinking up like helium. So I had to put my emergency lights on and then run to the back of my van and close it up. But thank God there was so much traffic, so even when I came back to the steering wheel, it was like not really much ahead.
Right, right. Okay, now for people that are probably wondering, why would you have a helium tank? Can you please share?
So I have like a small flower business.
Okay.
And so I have all of my supplies and stuff like that in my car.
Okay, okay. So how did that go off? Just hit a bump?
It hit, like, so it was laying down, and so it hit something, like, and so I guess the thing, like, hit where you screw, and it screwed it, and then it just started shooting up the
started shooting that all out.
Yeah.
Now, be honest, have you ever done that thing with the balloon where it changes your voice with the helium?
Oh, I thought you were talking about some other balloons.
No.
I was like, yeah, I have before. Yeah, it was funny because your friend just asked me outside. He was like, did you think you were talking like in the high voice?
Right.
And it was funny because after that, I started driving and I'm like, there's helium in the car, and I was like, hello, like checking it out to see if my voice was like squeaking.
Yeah, you know what? If you really think about it, I really, what is it that changes your voice when you inhale the helium? That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Okay. Because I know you had texted me earlier. You had DM'd me earlier and told me that we were going to be a little late because of the accident. Supposedly there was an accident on the freeway or whatever. But other than that, how has your week been going on? Today is Wednesday. Let's go back a little bit to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. How did you spend your weekend?
Busy. It was like Mother's Day weekend, so
yes,
I had like a bunch of pre-orders to do. I stayed up on the whole night, Friday to Saturday. I didn't sleep the whole night. I went to sleep like around 7 a.m. Woke up again at 11 a.m. and it was like back on the grind. And then I performed on Saturday at a Narcotics Anonymous show. So I like got ready and then went there. But that whole night before, I was like doing pre-orders. And then yesterday was Mexican Mother's Day. So I had a booth and had a lot of customers coming up to my booth and buying arrangements, and I sold all my flowers. So we did pretty good, but it was crazy. It was really crazy. I never worked like that in my life.
Yeah. So you is that what you just flowers?
So we're right now. My I have like a truck that I bought, and I'm going to turn it into a flower truck, and it's like an oldies, like cute little truck. Okay. So I'm gonna be like a mobile flower truck.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. It's gonna give off a nice aroma.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have like a mic so I can like lull it, like bring in the customers.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I wish you much success on that, and do people book you for like certain events, or is it just pretty much just orders?
So they book me we do like events and everything, but so far since we just started out, like, we've done like events where we do like a bunch of arrangements for tables, like centerpieces and weddings, and so we basically do everything. Okay.
Last Wednesday I had Amora here.
Yeah.
She gave me a CD and a shirt, and I'm proudly wearing the shirt.
Hey.
I'm representing.
Awesome.
And later on, I'm going to have you sign the CD and also have you sign your glossy right here.
Awesome.
So other than that, so you were busy all this week. So let's talk a little bit about where originally are you from? Like, where were you raised?
I was raised in the Valley.
Okay. You went to school there, elementary?
Everything. Yeah.
Okay. And what high school did you attend, if you don't mind me asking?
I went to quite a few. I went to East Valley High School. I went to Grant High School. And then I did this high school that you kind of like go like on your own and like do. Like
a continuation high school? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I wish I could have went to different high schools, but I tried hard getting kicked out and I couldn't.
Getting what is it?
Getting kicked out because I wanted to go to a different high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I couldn't. My mom had my ass there, so.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm glad I went to Banning High School.
That's good.
But now, growing up, you play any sports?
Sports, like I used to like playing basketball growing up.
Mm-hmm. Were you any good?
Yeah, I was pretty good.
For real?
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to like bully. It was kind of bad, but when I was in school in basketball, I was like kind of like mean when I would play basketball.
Well, you got to be.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I have to ask you this: are you a big sports person? Do you watch a lot of sports at all?
No.
Okay. So if I ask you if you're a Laker fan, you'll probably say yes, but.
Oh no, yeah, I'm definitely a Lakers fan.
Okay.
Like basketball, I really like.
Okay.
I do enjoy like watching.
Okay. What about as far as like baseball's concerned?
Not really, but I would say I'm a Dodgers fan.
Okay, and football?
Football, I guess Rams, because Danny Trejo goes for the Rams.
Yeah, I know he's a Rams fan. It's all good. So okay, now let's talk a little bit about your singing. Okay, growing up, what would you say your parents played when you were a little girl growing up in your house? What kind of music filled your house?
Mexican music.
Okay.
Latino music, just cumbias,
Okay.
It was kind of weird because, that one, I forgot what their band name is, but they sing the one that goes like, no te metas con mi cucu. And then
yeah.
they sing the
Sonora Dinamita?
yes. So last week we performed somewhere, and then they were like, "Oh, we have Sonora Dinamita performing for the after party," and I just couldn't believe it because I'm like standing there, sitting, and I was like, "I have to get up and dance," because this is my parents. Like,
Yes.
I grew up on this. Like, this is legendary. I know a lot of people here don't know who they are,
Right.
but I'm like, I know how important they are. And they're legends, to me and to everyone else as well. But not a lot of people like know them,
And
like nowadays.
right. And it could be because one thing that I've realized about this generation when it comes to music, a lot of this generation, and again, I'm not saying everyone, but at least the people that I sat across, a lot of them don't respect history. When I say history, music history.
Yeah.
There were people before us that paved the way,
Yeah.
for us to do what we do. And one of the groups was Sonora Dinamita. Today you can ask, your average, rapper or singer, whatever, and a lot of them may not even know, and a lot of them may not even care, But the reason why I know that song is because that was some of my mom's favorite stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. So now you heard him play live. What did you think?
I was just stunned. I was like, just couldn't believe it. I started FaceTiming my mom, videotaping, sending it to my dad, and they were just like, couldn't believe it. But yeah, it was nice to see them live. And the lead singer, she sounds exactly how she sounds on the CD.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk a little
And
bit
the
about.
way they dance, it's so beautiful because they're a whole band, and so while they're like singing, they're making these like moves, and I'm just like stunned.
They were all like in sync.
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta learn those moves too.
Right. Now, one thing about that is that I've been going to a lot of shows and performing a lot of shows since the late 80s and pretty much throughout the 90s, okay? And I'll talk more about the rap aspect than singers. There's a lot of rappers that do not sound like their records when they perform. And I'm glad you brought that point up because you said that lady sounded just like her records.
Yeah.
One thing that I like to push on today's artists is that what you release, when people go see you perform, that's what they want to hear.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's very few people that perform that sound like their records.
Yeah.
And you being a singer, I want to encourage you, and I know sometimes when we see the crowd and the crowd is hyped,
Yep.
we add a little bit more hype to our singing.
Yeah.
But really what they want to hear is what you released. Have you came across that where you see, because I'm sure now you're doing a lot of shows, attending a lot of events, whether they're rappers or singers, do you ever hear them and say, they sound like the record, others don't? And I'm not asking to name names, but do you ever come across that?
Recently, I can't really think of anyone, but I know nowadays is like, I like Nathaniel Cano, like how he said, ya no se necesita saber cantar, like no más tienes que describir tus cosas. He's like, por eso existe el auto-tune. So it's kind of like a controversy for me because it's like, at the same time, I want to feel like bashing and being like, wow, there's no more like real singers. But then at the same time, it's kind of positive because for someone who doesn't know how to sing, if they know how to write and they want to do music, that's like still an opportunity for them. So it's
right.
It's kind of like both kind of like, but I think it's positive, I guess. But
right. It's positive in the sense that everybody can do it now.
Yeah, yeah.
The thing, me being an old school cat, is that back then there were few people that did it because they had the, for lack of better words, I'm going to say they had the real talent. Now, you don't necessarily have to have talent from that quote that you were saying, but autotune could put you in tune, and now you're a singer.
Yeah.
I'm the same way when it comes to DJing, because back then, some of the youngest DJs that I ever saw were in junior high school. Okay, today we have kids that are like 8, 9, DJing and are really good.
Yeah.
Part of the reason is because how singers have autotune. Today, DJs have mixers, laptops that allow you to not necessarily be talented, but you can do this now yourself.
Nice.
I think DJing, in a sense, has become somewhat of a video game now. Everything's just button pushing, and you don't even have to have needles today.
Yeah.
So sometimes I say to myself, where's the talent in that?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to judge them for wanting to live out their dream.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. That's the same how I feel, because sometimes I find myself kind of judging like certain artists. Like my homie just told me that Jenny 69 is coming to the Urban concert that we're singing at. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, because I know she's like pretty well known and everything. But then, you know, you see how she's became famous over this song that like, you know. And so it's kind of like, but then at the same time, I want to be like, damn, like everybody's like rooting for these artists who can't sing, and they're just like promoting like, you know, something whack. But at the same time, I feel like, you know what? But, you know, if it works for her, and if it's like, you know, like if people like it, like why not? You know, so it's kind of controversial, and it's at the same time, I just don't know. Like,
you know, but here's where I see it, and again, this is just my opinion, okay? And even in my opinion, people still get mad or not, but I'm going to say it anyway because I don't care.
Exactly.
Okay. One thing I will say this, that here are the people with real talent, hardly not getting any shine, but here comes a girl, you know, and not to name names, or a guy that has no talent, but their music, their outfit, the way they're somewhat of a gimmick.
Yeah.
And they're taking off. And you're like, wait a minute. You know, so is it true you don't need talent anymore? You know? That's the way I see it. I see DJs that are just button bashers, and they're doing this and laughing at the camera, coming back, waving over here, pushing buttons, and I'm like, what the hell is that? But I don't want to hate on them, but that's just my opinion. Yeah. So my opinion is, what the hell is that? So, yeah, and I say the same thing about singers. What the hell is that? Take off autotune, let them sing in person, and believe me, they'll sound like a rat that just got kicked in the balls. Yeah. They don't sound too good. But anyways, I mean, you know what? Can people use autotune live?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was just in the studio.
No, I think they could add it to the microphone when they're performing.
Damn. All right.
Yeah.
It's a
so,
field.
Yeah. So that's what they said at the right now when we were like practicing, and then I kind of get in my car and I think about it. And I'm like, you know, it's kind of like controversial. You want to be against it, but then at the same time, it's like, well, you want to feel happy for that person as well.
Right.
So.
Okay, now, you know, before we switch channels, because I don't want people to think that we're bashing anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Because today people take everything wrong. Say that these people that are using autotune to sing, say we go back in time to the 90s where it took real talent, 80s, 70s where it took real talent, they would be non-existent. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
They would be non-existent. Today, somebody got rich by creating things where now everybody can do it. Again, which is cool. I said this story before, and I'll say it again. And if Jenny 69 ever allows me to interview her, I will interview her, but I wouldn't change my questions just because she's here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't sit there and hate because she's winning, or if she's winning, I don't know. From social media, it looks like she's winning.
Yeah.
You know, you got a video that hit 11 million views. 11 million.
Blew up. It was like all over TikTok, everywhere.
Everywhere. One thing about that I've had people that have told me, and major record labels that have said it, and I'm not just saying this about her, but I'm just saying this about artists that just come up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
One thing that I will say is that they look for the second single to see if it's going to do equal amount of numbers or above. The second single came out, they didn't even get 500,000. Yeah. So here you have 11 mil.
And that's why sometimes people are like, some like new people, they just do it for the clout. Like they do some like extraordinary, like weird shit just to like get a lot of views and
pretty much
and stuff like that. But you know, I just kind of like see it go on, and it's never really made me want to do some like crazy shit and for like the views and everything. But I mean, I don't hate on those people. I'm like, because I feel like eventually, like if I ever do like meet them, you know, I wouldn't like hate them or anything. But it's kind of just more like, I mean, if it works for them, like go ahead. You know, there's like, it's like, why not? It's not hurting anybody. So
right. And one thing I want to say that, like I said, if it's working for you, keep going. If you're winning, keep going. We should be able to have open discussion without anybody saying they're just hating. Sometimes we're just telling the truth. Yeah. So, but today, truth is the new hate speech. Yeah. So, anyways, around what age would you say that you began to sing?
I began to sing like around 6 or 7.
6 or 7 years old.
Yeah.
What do you think encouraged or motivated that? Was it watching TV? Was it a sister? Was it a friend? Your parents?
It was my older sister. My mom had her like in a group called Melissa and the Homies.
Melissa and the Homies.
And she had like three of our, she had like 3 boys who would break dance, and she would like sing kind of like pop music and everything.
Yeah.
But she hated it. She hated to sing. My mom would like force her to sing and everything. So one day I was like watching a novela with my grandma, and I don't know, I remember this memory so well, and I was really young, and I was just sitting there with my grandma, and I thought, hey, I know what I want to be. I want to be a singer. And so
really,
I started writing music and like singing, and then I would tell my mom that I wanted to sing, and she didn't really take me serious until finally like one of the producers of my sister heard me sing, and then he was like, "Did you write that?" He's like, "This girl can sing." And so after that, my mom kind of like shifted her eyes on me, and my sister, like she had a love for like dance, because we were also like dancers.
Right.
And she loved to dance, but she hated like to sing. So I started like singing and doing like performances like at, I think I was 8 when I had my
talent
first,
shows.
Well, like my singing teacher Luis Flores, I think he would throw like shows every year, like big shows, and a lot of people would come out, and he'll have all his students that sing whatever, like perform and stuff like that. And so that was like my first time performing there. I had like a whole Selena like little outfit on.
That's dope.
And I sing Como la Flor.
Oh, that's what my next question. Like, what would you sing? Was it majority Spanish or was it English?
I sing also Spanish. This is like a picture of me when I was like, my mom had like a mariachi suit built for me. So I've been singing mariachi as well, like from a younger age. So this is a picture. Let me see.
I wish you could have emailed it to us so that way we could have.
Oh, yeah, so to put it up.
Yeah, it's okay. But if you got it right here, I would love to check it out.
But yeah, so I grew up kind of like singing whatever my mom me ponía a cantar. And for some reason, she like knew like the right songs for my voice.
Oh,
like Besos y Copas and Demasiado Tarde that I sing now are songs that she chose for me like a while back. So now it's like have to learn new ones, but she always kind of like had the rights.
Now, when you first took the stage at a young age and you sang at your first, if you will, performance, what was the response that you were getting back?
I would get like, this is the picture here.
Oh, dope. And how old were you there?
I think I was like 8, not sure, like 8 or 7. I was just really young. I don't even remember like exactly like what age, but But yeah, so.
But you liked the response. You liked singing.
So the response was always like insane. Like every time I would perform, like people would cry, or they would literally like after every show, even if I wasn't like the main singer, like they would come up to me after the show and just like give me feedback. And as a kid, I just kind of like. I would like feel really lucky and blessed, but at the same time I was just like a kid, so I didn't really like pay that much attention. But people have always given me like all the time like really good feedback. Okay. And obviously you continued to sing throughout your high school years or junior high school years or whatnot. Did you ever do any high school or middle school performances? Middle school performances, no.
Okay, high school at all?
Well, high school I was like in the talent show, but I was like doing bad. You know, I was a rebel. So one time after lunch, there was a mariachi and I started singing. We had this like really mean dean who would like yell at everyone. Really mean dean? Yeah, like if he seen you like he'd be like, hurry up to class, everybody, let's go. Like he was really mean. Right. But that day I was singing with the mariachi and then the bell rang, but I had a whole crowd right there like listening. And then after he was like, it's okay, everyone, let her finish. So I literally finished my song, and I have a lot of friends who like still remember that day. Okay. Now, I know that you're signed to Danny and his label. Prior to that, did you ever get scouted by any other record labels? I was like, so after high school, I joined a singing competition. Okay. It was called the Kidney's Quest Foundation, and I won first place, and the judge from there, he became my manager. Really? So he was my manager for a while, and then that's when I found Danny, and then I started working with him.
Okay.
And then before that, I had like when I was younger, one of like my mom's friends who like work for like big music people.
Right.
He wanted to do something with me, but he ended up getting like shot at a bank robbery.
Wow.
In Hollywood, which is like super random. His name
Wow.
was John Accuberry, and he worked with like big artists and everything. But I was like just a kid, and
Right. Wrong place, wrong time, huh?
yeah.
Wow. Did you ever hear, speaking of bank robberies, I hope it wasn't the one where those guys were, it was on TV. And I forgot, but I think it was like North Hollywood or somewhere.
Oh, no. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
It wasn't that one.
Oh, those guys were freaking.
They were wild and...
Yes.
Sheesh.
Yes. I remember watching this one guy walking out, and when he ran out of bullets, he just took himself out.
Fuck.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? And it was live on TV.
Oh, no.
Yes. Okay. Now, as far as, do you remember the first time that you actually recorded yourself? And how old were you when you actually recorded yourself, you played it back, and you heard yourself? What did you think?
Well, I remember this song that I wrote. It was called Single Ladies.
Uh-huh.
And I was like in 6th grade. And I wrote it without any beat or anything. I just wrote it like in class.
Right.
The whole song in one period. So
Okay.
I remember writing that. I had like my little notebook full of like songs that I'd made and stuff like that.
Uh-huh. And do you remember recording yourself, though?
I didn't record myself, but I like knew the song, and I like, you know, would sing
Okay.
it to like my mom and like friends, and they would be like, "Did you write that?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I would battle like when I was a kid too. Like I would, because I also like rap.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
I don't really tell anybody, but I had like rap battles before, and I was like younger.
Okay.
And when I see my cousins, sometimes like a few of my cousins, we usually just like put on a beat instrumental and like we freestyle. But yeah, so growing up, that was the only song
Okay.
that like it was like the first one.
Okay. Now, as far as rap, let's talk just a tiny bit of that. What rappers, if any, do you listen to today? If you can give me a few.
I'm like such a like hermit that like I have people all around me. Like my sister, she's listening to the new shit all the time. Like I sometimes get in people's car and they're listening to some new stuff. And I'm the type that I've been listening to the same songs and same artists since like
Right.
10 years ago. And I would say like I listen to on Pandora right now. I have Wiz Khalifa,
Okay.
50 Cent, Eminem, and then it's kind of weird. I listen to like the radio station Crystal Castles
Uh-huh.
and Avicii. I actually have Avicii's name on my finger here. His real name was Tim.
Okay.
And like he passed away. He committed suicide like 5 years ago. And he makes like electronic music, and like he was like became famous when he was like a little kid.
Wow.
And he had like an inspiring story, but I guess it was like too much for him, and he ended up like drinking a lot, and they say that he committed suicide, but nobody really knows.
Wow.
And it's weird because on my other finger I have my friend Amy, which
Uh-huh.
is a friend that passed away like more than 5 years ago, way before I barely got this tattoo like last year. And this one I've been having since I was 18. And when I thought about getting his name, when I got sober, I'm like, I'm gonna get Avicii's name tatted because like I love him, and even though I never met him and I know he's an artist, like I feel so connected to him. But I'm gonna get his real name. And then when I looked up his real name, I couldn't believe that it's 3 letters. Like the same as my friend is 3 letters,
Oh, wow.
and his is 3 letters. So I'm like, I don't know what that means, but it's pretty cool.
Maybe somebody else got another 3 somewhere. So
I'm like, maybe 3 is my lucky number.
hey, maybe, or 6?
Not that one.
Okay. I was in 666.
I'm like, déjame persino. Ah.
See. All good. Now, as of right now, all the stuff that you're doing, is it pretty much all Spanish?
Yeah. Right now I'm doing like I'm about to record like a reggaeton song,
Okay.
but I definitely want to stay like in the Spanish
Okay.
until like I make a hit. And if I make a hit, I will. Obviously, my dream is to like do other like Avicii's type of music.
Okay.
And also like other types of music, like sing and
Right.
in English as well.
Okay. Now, you touched a little bit on that you used to rap, that you sing. Do you ever plan on possibly producing your own music sometimes? You know what I'm saying? Do you have
Yeah.
other ideas like I want to branch out once? You know, I'm an established artist. I want to do this. I want to do that. What about acting?
Yeah, that would be great. I actually like seeing your studio here, and I was like inspired because I'm like, I have a studio that I rent right now, and I've like since I stopped working, I'm like, oh, I didn't do good in school, but maybe I'll just like start learning how to like produce and all that stuff, so I could like know everything.
Yeah. I would encourage you to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that would be a good study for me to
Yes.
learn.
Last question before we go to break. Would you ever consider going back and doing some rap?
Yes.
Really? You're open for that?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Now, say that somebody's watching right now, okay, and says, do you have any rap right now as far as released that they can listen to? Like, is there anything out on YouTube that they can find?
Yeah, there's something on SoundCloud from like 10 years ago
Okay.
that I
Okay.
did a rap on. It's
Okay.
called Games Twixxy on SoundCloud.
Okay, so look up Twixxy, and that's double X, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, double X. Okay. Now, if somebody today says, you know what, I liked it, I heard it, I want you to do one verse, I'll pay you. Would you be willing to?
Yeah, I would be willing to.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and press pause right there. We're going to come right back after a 10-minute break, and we're going to pick up right where we left off.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, everybody, once again, call somebody, text somebody, slap the shit out of somebody, and let them know that Twixxy's in the motherfucking building, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. Welcome back, everyone, to Roadium Radio episode 249. And once again, I want to thank everybody who tuned in, everybody who liked, comment, subscribed, everybody in the live chat. Let's keep it going. And without further ado, please allow me to introduce the one and only Twixxy. Now, I want to ask you something. Okay, as far as Twixxy, did that come from the candy?
No, it actually came from my sister calling me a twig growing up.
Okay, porque estabas flaquita.
Like a stick.
For reals?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like super skinny.
Okay, and now were you one of those kids that was skinny but you could eat a lot?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Huh?
And it's now I still do the same, but it's not that I'm getting. I'm actually growing, so I have to stop.
Okay. Now, so was it? So what did she call you? Twig? Or
She would call me Twig.
Twig, and then you just kind of remixed it.
And then one day I just was like, and at school I'm like, I have to come up with an artist name. And then I went home and I was writing down a bunch of names with like the Twig name, but put something at the end. And so then I came up with Twixxy.
How long have you been rocking with Twixxy?
Sheesh, I've been rocking with Twixxy since like middle school.
Okay.
And people have gave me like bad feedback from it. Like I remember like my first manager didn't want me to keep that name.
Okay.
And at first Danny didn't want to keep the name either.
Really?
But I like had to fight my way. Like I was like, this is my name, and I like want to keep it. And I know it doesn't really sound like professional because I know it's like a lot of people have like nice names.
Right.
But mine just is like it's weird, I guess, but it's like
It's different.
my magical like fairy tale name. So
Okay. So next time Danny tells you we're gonna change Twixxy, you know what you tell him? We're gonna change Machete.
oh yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So, anyways, I hope he's watching because that's one guy that I'm trying to get over here. But but just to quick recap, there's people that may not know that we met. I believe it was March 26th at the To Live and Die in LA event, and that's when I first interviewed you guys. But it was you, Amora, and Danny. But it wasn't so much an in-depth interview, So around what age would you say, if you can remember, that I really want to take this serious as far as a career? Because I know you said you're singing somewhere between 6 and 8 years old, but around how old would you say, like, I really want to do this?
I would say like when I got sober.
Okay.
And I got signed again. Just like it's been 3 years.
Okay.
Since I've been like, okay, I'm gonna take this serious. I'm gonna do it. But
Okay.
because like before when I was younger, I was singing, I was doing shows, I was like signed to this manager and then working with Danny. But I was still like partying and doing what I had to do on the side.
Okay.
And I don't think I seen the importance that I see now, like in my career.
Okay. I know you had mentioned, and we had talked a little bit about it. For those of you guys that want to see what I'm talking about, the To Live and Die in LA episode is on our page, where Twixxy shared a little bit about being sober. And I respectfully ask you if I can re-ask you that same question. How long were you not sober for, and what do you think it was that led you to start doing whatever you were doing?
I just kind of feel like I was like kind of like born into the lifestyle in a way, like, so it just kind of grew out, and I started with we just started doing drugs, to heavier drugs, and then eventually just giving up and just being like, you know what, I don't even care that my label wants to do this and that, and so I'm just gonna do whatever I want to do, and then I did that for a while, and it was pretty bad. So now I'm like, I moved out from the Valley, got my own place, went to rehab, and did what I had to do to get my life back.
Yeah. Would you say that this started possibly, because I know you say you were somewhat born into the lifestyle. Would you say it started somewhere with maybe getting high on the weekends or drinking on the weekends or whatever you were doing, and then before you know it, it just snowballed, it escalated a little bit more, got out of hand?
Yeah.
The reason why I'm asking is because just in case there's somebody watching, I believe that you are a great example to someone who realized that they were on the wrong road. You know what? I need to get myself right. And now you've been 3 years, if I'm correct, 3 years sober.
3 years.
You're living out your dream as being a singer. I believe that's encouraging to people that are watching that are possibly involved in that, or possibly hanging around with the wrong crowd that may lead them down that road. So maybe this will help them to think twice.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't mind me asking, you don't have to go into detail. How bad did it get for you? Was it to the point where you needed it every day, or you know?
Oh yeah, it got to the point where it's like I didn't even want to get out of bed, like if I didn't have like drugs. It was like really bad to where my my family, like my mom, my sister, one day were like, "Tómate estas pastillas, tómatelas." And I didn't want to take them, and then I took them, and the next thing you know, I wake up and I'm in TJ in a rehab, just
like that?
Like that. And I was just like, oh hell no! I'm like, when I get back, I'm reporting them and all this stuff. And yeah, they put me in rehab in Mexico, and that didn't work because I came back and I still did my thing. So like it was really bad. I was really like I was to the point where I could have like, it's like I could have died.
Right.
So, yeah, I feel like I would have like maybe died the way I was going. Like I had a few people that I know already, like that I was living that lifestyle with. They passed away. So it's like,
Yeah. Okay. You know, and like I said, I don't want to stay on this too long because I did want you to share it so that it could be an encouraging message to someone out there who's possibly starting that, or someone who is in it now, that it is possible that you can walk away. I know it takes a lot of work, and it's hard for me to speak on it. And I say that because, you know, I only smoked weed twice in my life, and I was a teenager. Yeah. Never smoked a full cigarette. I like drinking beer and shots of tequila, and I have a good time.
Yeah.
Never got into anything else other than that.
Yeah.
So I respect when people share their stories, you know, because I do believe that it's a good testimony, you know. So leading up to your you being sober, what was the final, I guess, the final straw where you said, I got to get help?
I feel like I went to jail.
Okay.
And so they were forcing me to. They got me a deal because they wanted to give me like 3 years in prison. Uh-huh. So I had like Danny Trejo and my mom like fight for me to see if I can go to a rehab. And then I told myself, and I told God, I'm like, I'm not gonna do those heavy drugs. But I was thinking in my head like I'm still gonna drink and smoke. And so it was still like in my head. Yeah. It's like I wanted to stop, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
So when I went to rehab, for some reason, like a miracle happened, and I just was like, fuck it. Like, I'm going to let somebody tell me, like, give me, like, accept the help. And so I started, like, in the rooms of NA and Narcotics Anonymous. I started, like, listening to people's, like, stories, and then I started listening on how they would say, like, you know, how they try to get sober on their own. Because I tried to get sober many times before just on my own. And I noticed how, like, it would be for, like, a month or two. And then I'll be like, you know what? I'm just going to have a drink today. And then after I had that drink, boom, I went to go get drugs. It's like, it's like anything that I put in my body that, like, altered my state of mind would lead me to, like, go use and go down again. So when I listened to that in the rooms, I thought to myself, okay, well, I have to get sober off everything, not just those heavy drugs. I gotta not do anything that like makes me not sober. Right.
Okay, you know what? And once again, I thank you for being very transparent. I had a friend years ago that was hooked on crystal meth. Mm-hmm. And he told me, he told me something similar to what you just said. Okay, I won't do crystal, but I'll do something else.
Yeah.
You know, and finally, some member of his family had passed away, and he had said, I just want to get completely off for my children, for my family. I want to do it for myself. But he said, one thing that I had to do, Tone, I had to reprogram my mind, because everything was like, I can always go back, or I can sober up for a little bit. He goes, I had to get rid of all of that.
Yeah.
And pretty much start over again.
Yeah.
So what helped him, he said, not only going to a rehab, but also going, again, this may not work for everybody, but it worked for him. He started going to church, and he started being a part of some Bible study, he said. And he said that everything that was being read, it was just pretty much programming the way he thought.
Yeah.
And it helped him. So I applaud him and I applaud you.
Thank you.
Now, I will say this before we move on. I look at you and I say to myself, there's no way this could be you. But that just goes to show we can never judge a book by its cover. We don't know who we're sitting across. We don't know your story. And it's important that you're sharing it.
Yeah.
So,
Thank
okay.
you.
Now, if we may back up a little bit, when did you meet Danny?
I met Danny like when I was like 16.
Okay. And was this at an event or, did he come see you, come hear you sing? How did that happen?
So he came to like one of the shows where I was like singing at, and then from there like we kind of like started talking, and he would we did like a meeting, and then from there that's how. So Danny started Trejo's music, and because of me, a long time ago he was just actor, and after he met me, he was like, you know what, I want to get into music. And so I've been his like first artist that he's ever had. And then from there, that's when he's like, you know what, I want to do music. And at first it was DT Records, and now it's Trejo's music. And it's pretty inspiring because like after, it's like I fucked up, you know? Like sometimes I'm like, damn, like if I just would have fucking listened and not done what I did, Danny would have fucking just, you know, helped me get up there.
Right.
But you know, it is what it is, and life happens. Pero, you know, like here I am still alive and gonna try again. But from that, when he picked me up from like where I was working at Pavilions, we went in his car and he was taking a cake for 52 years of sobriety. I'm like, damn, that's a long time. Danny's like 75. His birthday's on the 16th. He's like 75, I think. And so when I went in the car and he's like, listen to this music that we've been doing. And he played all the oldies music that he has, the artists and everything. And I'm like, wow, like that's amazing. And I started this all because of you. Wow. And I just like.
How did that make you feel?
That makes me feel like really happy. You know, like it makes me feel special that he did that. But at the same time, it makes me feel like I gotta like get my game going. Like I gotta move now that I'm sober and everything. Yeah. Gotta get focused and like dedicated and everything. But it's really nice to see how he kept going.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about this because Amora was here and we talked about it. Trejo Soul Collection Volume 1. We had Coda here.
Oh, yeah.
With her, and she signed it, he signed it. I'm gonna have you sign it. But what song on here are you?
Besos y Copas.
Besos y Copas. What track? Okay, number 7.
Yes.
Okay. Now, why Besos y Copas? What does that mean for those that don't know what Besos y Copas means?
Kisses and drinks.
Kisses and drinks. Okay. All right. And so what are you talking about there? I know it's self-explanatory, but just talk a little bit about it.
It's talking about like basically a woman singing to a man, like you rather had gone with your friends, drank with those women, you know, but I'm done with you. And you know, it's like me dices que tú ya no me quieres. And so yeah, it's kind of like bashing on a man who like didn't care about his women. Okay.
Now I had this and if Amora's watching, we need to do our homework because I said I find more love songs from men to women, even if they're "you broke my heart" type of deal. Mm-hmm. So when she told me about hers, this may be, and now you tell me number 7, Besos de Copas. This is a woman speaking to a man.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like I was tripping out because it's almost like when I hear women sing love songs, you know. It's almost like I love my man or my man loves me or whatever, not chinga tu madre type of songs, you know?
Like Rata de dos patas.
Right. But
how does Karol G say it?
Rata
de dos patas, lo digo Paquita, un animal rastrero. Did you hear that song by Becky G and Karol G?
Yes. Rata. Wow. Okay. You know, and then one thing I told her, I don't know if you watched her interview or not, but I said, you know, when you listen to a lot of las rancheras, a lot of Spanish music, a lot of the men in Spanish, they'll tell women, it's okay, I loved you, but you left me. I'm gonna find me a better one. I'm gonna find me, you know, somebody new. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go get drunk. You're not the one I thought. And I said, we need more songs like, you are the one I love. You are the one I want to be with. You make me happy. But I think there are probably more heartbroken people out there that love to drown in, you know, in liquor and want to talk shit.
Yep.
So I found out that blues music is a lot like that. So, yeah. Okay, so now, Besos y Copas, this is once again track number 7. This is by Twixxy. Once again, track number 3 is Amora. And I'm trying, let me give Coda his props.
Tara New as well.
Yes. Okay, yes, Tara. Let me see. I'm trying to remember what song Coda, I think it's track number 2. Yeah, track number 2, if you don't mind, with Trish Toledo. So once again, so now, what is the most popular song on here right now on this one?
The one with Trish Toledo and Baby Bash.
Okay, and that's track number 1, right?
Yeah.
Satisfy My Soul. What would you say, where would yours rank up? Like what are people saying?
So right now on Amazon, my Trish Toledo's and Baby Bash's song is the first one. The second one is Satisfy My Soul by Tara New and Baby Bash.
Okay.
And then mine's is the third most listened to. But
Okay.
I'm like by myself. Like I don't have.
You don't have a feature.
Well, not just that. I feel like it's like the only mariachi song on there.
Oh, okay.
And Danny Trejo was like, you know what? This is an oldies album, but let me just throw in the homegirl in here, like some ranchera.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. And so, and that's the third most listened to as far as Amazon is concerned, right?
Yeah, on just the album, not like
Right.
on Amazon, like all of the music.
Right, on the
just like
album.
on the songs that are on there.
Okay. And obviously you perform this song, and what is the response that you get when you perform?
Oh, they just like, people are just like, they fucking love that shit. Like they love it
That's dope. Do you ever make people cry?
all the time.
All the time.
That's my job.
Okay. You know, it's funny. I forgot who in the hell I had here. I think it might have been Bobby Castro, because I was drinking with him and he was playing con la guitarra, and I go, play something, bro. I feel like crying. Make me cry. Make me cry. And then, you know, because sometimes it's almost like we like that shit.
Yeah.
We like that shit. I think we love the passionate singing.
People on TikTok are like, I seen a comment. She's like, man, it's too early right now, like to take a shot.
What do you think it is that sometimes some of that passionate singing makes us want to be like, hey, bro, go get us a fucking tequila bottle, homie. Go get us some. What do you think it is?
I don't know. I think it's like that like Mexican ranchera, like soul stuff that is just like different.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, because when, like, let's be honest, when people listen to like Marvin Gaye or Al Green, you know, a lot of my black friends do the same thing.
Yeah, like we all have our like own like little, you know, like our like our OG like roots.
Yes.
For every like human race.
Yes. One of my boys, one of my black homies, he'll be like, hey, homie, go give me a bottle of Night Train, you know, or go give me a bottle of fucking Jameson whiskey. Like, I'm going to get fucked up. Play that song over again. But it's the same thing. Like, when my homies come over and they want Spanish music, they just want to fucking drink. And I'm like, bro, I can't do this every fucking night, homie. It's a good song, pero ya párale. So, okay. So,
That's funny.
Once again, let's promote. Where can they buy this at?
They could buy it on Amazon Music.
Okay.
And then also like trejosmusic.com.
trejosmusic.com. And is it available right now también on like the Spotify's and all the other platforms?
Yeah, it's available everywhere.
Okay, that's dope. How long has this one been out again? A couple of weeks, a month or so?
It's been out maybe like a couple months.
Okay. And have you guys, because this is volume 1, have you guys started working yet on volume 2? Or
Yeah.
when can people expect that?
Hopefully by this year.
Okay. And I had asked Amora, as far as her solo project, I'm going to ask you pretty much the same thing. What can people expect from Twixxy 2022? You know, is there another single, a possible EP, a possible album, more visuals? Can you fill us in?
Yeah. So like I feel like I for 2022, hopefully I have an album done by this year.
Okay.
Also gonna have some reggaeton music out there and possibly some rap in Spanish as well, and some singing, some more of like my original stuff. I know a lot of people that like know me from like TikTok or or Instagram on my videos, they always ask me like, when are you gonna come up with your own song? So right now, Besos y Copas is a cover of like Alicia Villarreal and Jenny Rivera, but pretty soon I'm gonna start throwing my own music.
Yeah.
Right now I'm gonna record a song that my producer wrote, but I'm on the works to write my own things as well, and pretty soon that my fans and people hear that as well.
Okay. And I think that's important, because one thing that I don't want people to think of you and artists like yourself, that you're just a cover song girl.
Yeah.
And many times some people do that. They get the foot in the door, they have the audience, and then they begin to flourish and bloom in other areas as far as music is concerned with their own stuff.
Yeah.
So as of right now, you're just hearing, can I say, the beginning stages of Twixxy.
Yep.
Sooner or later, expect more possible
Exactly.
rap. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's dope.
why I want to stick with the Spanish, because I get a lot of like feedback from that. So I'm like, I have to stick with what's working and get my foot in the door. So I definitely feel like more ranchera covers would be good, but I still want to like do some like originals, but kind of stay in the same like Spanish like vibe.
Okay. Do you ever plan on how would you say, doing English songs as well, like branching out eventually? Is that in your plans?
Before I got signed to Danny again, I did 2 songs. Like when I moved, it's on my YouTube channel. It's called Never Looking Back. And then I did Put It on 100, which is like a hip hop song. And I just produced those myself. Actually, so when you asked me before, like, yeah, I did. I produced 2 songs by myself.
Yeah.
I paid for everything. And then I did like music videos. Like I had to hire like a videographer, and I had like outfits and everything. And for my first music video, I had like a whole outfit filled like sunflowers, my face painted, braids. And I sang about never looking back, like never looking back to where I came from.
Yeah.
And
that's good. Never looking back where you came from.
Yeah.
You know what? And that's one thing. Don't
but
ever
not
look.
forgetting.
Yeah. Yes. Don't ever look back unless you plan on going there.
Yeah.
There's some doors that once you close them, you need to put a board so you can never fucking go back.
Yeah.
No, that's a good thing. And I'm glad that once again, you're sharing these things with us, because not too many people are so transparent or want to open up about things that they're not so proud of. There's things that in the past that, I've shared, and I've been very transparent of things that like my mistakes or whatever I shouldn't have done. But you know what? We learn from our mistakes and we grow. And you know what? The race is just beginning. So,
Exactly.
And the future looks bright.
That's right.
What can people expect? When can people expect to see you next? Is there a tour lined up? Can you fill us in on that?
So right now I have a show coming up on May 28th in the Adelanto Stadium. Okay. I will be singing there with my music sisters, Amora and Tara New, and also other Latino artists. And then in June, I have a lot of shows coming up. So if you follow me on Instagram, I always have like the shows that I'm going to do in my link, and you can just, come by and maybe take a shot or shed a tear.
Take a couple shots. Believe me, she'll make you cry. You know one thing I noticed about that video where you dressed like the mariachi? That was, how long ago was that?
That was like a couple months ago too. Okay.
Now try this, you guys. The way you're singing that song, you could press mute and look at your facial expressions and still cry. Yeah. That's just the truth, because there's a lot of passion, behind those lyrics. And you know what? It's that energy that people feed on that they love, So once again, support her, follow her, go check her out, go perform the way she performs. I'm saying, I think it'll be very, very well worth it. Yeah. When you do perform, how many songs do you actually do? Will people get from you?
So far, like only 2.
Okay.
But I've been getting hired to like sing for an hour and stuff like that. Okay. And I'm definitely like working right now to learn más rancheras, and especially like Jenny Rivera, and trying to branch out of those 2 mariachi songs that are like hits when I like perform. Because sometimes I'm like, well, if I sing that song, it's not going to give the same impact as the others. But Right now, I've been singing 2 songs, and then I sang a Tina Turner song not too long ago. But I'm working on learning better, like more songs. So yeah.
If say somebody say you gained a new fan today, and there's a producer out there, and he said like, you know what, I want her to do, sing on a chorus of a song that I'm working on. Are you open for stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm definitely open for that.
Okay, just know that it's not for free, guys. So because a lot of people think, well, I'm so and so. Well, guess what? I got bills too, homie.
Yeah.
Artists got bills too.
Yep. That's
so
right.
The thing is, one thing that I've learned about this whole Chicano industry is that everybody wants something for free.
Yep.
And nah, bro. I get free interviews. I promote for free, but my time isn't for free when you ask me to show up somewhere.
It's funny because the other day, like, I performed somewhere for free just because I was there. They were like, "Oh my God, Twixxy," and they were like, "Would you be down to sing?" But they were like being sarcastic, and I'm like, "Fuck it, yeah, I'm down. Let's go." So then I went, I did it, whatever. And then after, someone comes up to me, and my dad went there because I was like selling flowers there. I was like a vendor. But I was not Twixxy. I was a vendor that day. So It was funny. Like, my dad was there, and then they asked me to sing las mañanitas to someone. And then after that, everybody was like, woo. And then, like, I went towards, like, where my family and people were. And I'm like, and that will be $150. They all started laughing. I'm like, now it's like, you got to pay me per song.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, but that's good. So I'm glad that you are open for somebody that wants to work with you. But I always tell people, you know what, whoever I interview, doesn't matter. If we claim that we support each other and we support the culture, then support financially as well. Because nobody wants to do shit for free. People got to burn gas too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So other than that, anything that I didn't ask you, anything you want to promote, anything you want to share, anything you want to say?
I guess I would just like to say to continue to work on your vision, continue to stay on track, to pick up the pace when you feel like you're slacking off, and to believe in yourself a little bit more, because I feel like sometimes we doubt ourselves, and in reality we already have what we want to do. So it's just about staying focused, and like you said, the race.
Yeah.
Because like I know, like that story that we learned a long time ago of the the rabbit and the turtle, where like the rabbit got comfortable thinking, like, I'm faster than the turtle, so I'm gonna just take a nap. Then the turtle just ended up passing him. So it's like
keep going, in other words.
Yeah, it's like my homie Rocky over here.
Yes.
I literally love his speech. I know it like from like the whole thing, like the world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very scary, mean place, and it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You be a nobody who hit as hard as life. And it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, how much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Yeah. And what do you say? With this hand, I held you right here. Remember that? Because
he was taken to his son, right?
Yeah, Rocky Balboa. And you know what? That restaurant, Adrian's, is actually a real restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been going to Philly since the 90s, and every time I go there, it's tradition now that when I get off the plane, I go to the Rocky Steps.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So.
Oh, the Rocky Steps, they're like around here, or?
No, in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're in Philadelphia.
I'm like, are they local?
No, they're in Philly, and you'll really, really enjoy it once you get there. But there was another thing I was going to ask you, pero ya se me olvidó. Other than that, I need you to sign this and sign your picture for me. But any shout-outs you want to give?
Shout out to Trejo's Music. Shout out to my music sisters, Amora J and Tara New. Shout out to Danny Trejo. And shout out to all my family and friends and my Latino community, and also all communities. Hey.
So, I'm good. So once again, Twixxy, thank you for giving me the honor and the pleasure to be able to sit across from you and talk to you, talk music with you. Thank you for being very transparent and sharing things that you normally probably wouldn't share with anybody else, but you shared your story with the hopes of encouraging other people that there is a way out. So other than that, I wish you nothing but the best. Maybe you can help me convince Danny to get over here because a lot of people want to hear Danny's story también.
Oh, yeah.
I know he shared it, but he didn't share it with me.
Yeah.
So, Danny, if you're watching, por favor, carnal. So, anyways, thank you once again. We out of here. Once again, call somebody, text somebody, slap the shit out of somebody, and let them know that the incredible Javier just walked in the building. We'll be back in 10 minutes, everybody. You'll call somebody, text somebody, slap the shit out of somebody. Let them know that Roadium Radio is live up in this biatch. Welcome back, everyone, to Roadium Radio episode 249. And once again, I'm not even going to sit here and try to give you guys a joke or the fool around, but we're going to go ahead and jump right back into it with the one and only Incredible Javier.
Much love. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for being here, man. I know you came a little bit late because you actually rode the bike that you were on the flyer with, huh? You know, it's funny. Somebody actually said, "Wow, is he gonna ride that bike?" I'm like,
no, it's a long ass ride.
It's a long ass
ride. No, but there was a lot of traffic though, low key. Like I think there was an accident or something.
There's always an accident here in LA, right?
Yeah.
You know,
but it's sad because it's like it's going smooth and it's like accident ahead. Like, come on, man.
I know, but there's just so many people that live here in LA. For an example, you're a podcaster, I'm a podcaster. Then you got the king of podcasting, Joe Rogan, who says I need to move out of LA.
Yeah.
Because of the damn traffic.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But then again, we don't have that $100 million deal that he has.
Yeah, we don't have the move out kind of money. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'd move out too. You know.
Yeah.
But anyways, man. Other than that, let's go back to the weekend, man. How did you spend the weekend, bro?
It was chill. I chilled with my wife on Sunday. It's Mother's Day. Chilled with her a little bit, cleaned up the back. We like watching TV together, so we finished up Ozarks.
Oh, yeah.
And that it was really my weekends. There's nothing really exciting going on. You know what I mean? Like we just chill. I spent time with the family. We relax and it's not really. You'll never find too many crazy things happening in my life.
Okay. Now you say you like to watch TV, Ozark. You know what? I'll be honest with you. My family loves to watch Ozark. I've never watched one episode. I don't know why. No me llama la atención. It just doesn't grab my attention. But I'll put on like John Wayne Gacy, his clown ass killing people.
Yeah.
They find 29 bodies under his house, and I'm like, hell yeah, that's just, it's interesting. I feel bad for the families.
Yeah.
But I find shit like that.
But it is interesting to see the psychology behind it. Like, what happened to this guy? Like, that's something that I'm always interested in, especially like getting into the interviews I do. Yes. I always want to know the trauma, like what happened. Like there's trauma behind everyone's actions, especially because if you're young and you end up in a facility, something happened, right?
Yes.
So I always try to find that out. So that definitely is very interesting to me too, just to see like what's going on with this person. How do they end up like this? And like what are their motives? And that's definitely very interesting for me.
There's two types of people. There's two types of people like yourself. What are the motives? What happened? How did they get like this? And then there's other people say, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like in the middle of fuck that guy and let me find out a little bit more.
Well, still, if you kill all those people, it's not like, oh, poor guy. It's still fuck that guy. But it's still like it's more along the lines of how can we prevent this from happening again?
You know what? And I'm glad you said that, bro. I couldn't have said it better. It's still fuck that guy, but I get it. How can we help from this shit happening again? Now, people that are probably tuned in because they know that we interview a lot of artists. We've interviewed athletes here. We've interviewed comedians here, actors here, podcasters like yourself here. And I've never, ever have minded shining light on not only artists, athletes, actors, or whatever, because my thing is this. We are all supposed to be helping each other. Mm-hmm. We're all supposed to be pushing each other, when we can.
Yeah.
So for people to know who Incredible Javier is, can you please share with them possibly a little bit of your life? Who is Incredible Javier?
Yeah, definitely appreciate that, Tony. Appreciate you having me. And before I do much stuff to the Nasty Crew, I know there's a lot of them, a lot of the homies from the Nasty Crew in the building, so much love. But for me, like my story is Chicano kid from the streets, right? I grew up in a multi-generational gangbanging family, so I wanted to be a gangster since I was a kid. Like I thought that was the way. They always said that there was something else out there. My parents were like, go to college, do this and do that with your life, right? But I didn't know how to get there. I'm not that bright, or especially as a child, I wasn't that bright of an individual where I can figure out the path, right? So I took the easier route. I don't know how to go to college, but I could tell you how to get to the youth authority, right? So that's what I did. It was easy for me. And when I got to I ended up, joining my neighborhood, city of El Monte. And when I did, I just was a jackass. Like I just thought everything was funny. I think there definitely was a lot of pain in my life, but I was trying to mask that with laughter. Like, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I'm doing a gang of dumb shit. I'm laughing at it. And next thing you know, I end up in the California Youth Authority. Right? So I go to California Authority, I'm laughing too. Like, whatever, I don't give a fuck. Like, so what? Everybody ends up here, right? Because I had a lot of homies in there.
Right.
So like all of us end up in here. Then along the way, I read a book while I was in the Youth Authority. I was in a Nixon Cottage in Fred C. Nellis, which is a lockup program in Nellis. And I had the chance to read this book. It was a volunteer slid it to me. And I read the book called The Four Agreements.
The Four Agreements, okay.
It really changed my perspective on life. And I asked myself a critical question. I said, because I thought I wanted to spend the rest of my life in prison. That's what I thought I wanted to do.
And we're going to come back to that. 'Cause, many of my homies grew up with the same mentality.
Yeah.
But let's,
yeah, it's not an unusual one if you're from the streets, right? So I asked myself this critical question. I said, do I want to spend the rest of my life in prison, or do I think that's what's expected of me? Right? So I started thinking, and I started really I started taking the laughter out of it. This isn't fun, right? Like, started looking what it was. And when I first got to Nellis, about 2 months in, I did a group attack. Green lighter came, we jumped them, whatever, and I ended up in Taft lockup. And right there, I was tripping out because you had to have your hands behind your back, your knees on the bed, and they would shackle you to take you anywhere. And I was like, oh, I'm so fucking hard. Like, that's what I thought. Like, I'm so fucking crazy. They can't control me. Like, damn, they got to resort to these tactics to control me, right?
Yeah.
And by the time I read that book, and they still had to handcuff us to leave Nixon. They had tray slots there now, so it's easier to you don't have to do all that other shit.
Right.
But you put your hands behind your back, handcuff you, and I started thinking like, damn. And they would take us from our rooms to a cage to either watch TV. You watch TV, go to school in a cage, or you go outside to throw a ball in a cage, right? So it's like, and I started thinking to myself like, it's not that they can't control me; it's that they are controlling me. Like, I'm being treated like an animal. Like I'm acting like one, so that's how I'm being treated. So I started really tripping out, and that kind of lit the spark, for me to start wanting to change. It wasn't something that I can do overnight. You can't, especially in the California Youth Authority, you couldn't let somebody see like, oh, I want to go home. Don't say that. Right. That's the last thing you want to say, right?
Especially when everybody hears you.
Yeah. Everybody, oh, you want to go home? Well, let's make sure you don't.
Yes.
Yeah, so I had to kind of figure out and maneuver things so that I was going to be able to go home. And then once I even got out, like, that was another situation too, like it was a sad thing too. Life works crazy. Life is really trippy. Because right before I got out, right, I was about 2 weeks away from the pad. And it was my birthday. I remember I was 20th birthday. Right, so it's my 20th birthday. I'm in YTS at the time in Chino, and the door opens up. I'm like, what the fuck is that, right? Because I was like, what the hell's going on? So you jump off, right? You jump off. If anyone's in the hallway, you're gonna have to get active and shit. So I look in the hallway, I don't see anybody. I'm like, what's up? And they're like, you wanted in the chapel. So they're all right, cool. So I head out to the chapel. I put my jumpsuit on. You have jumpsuits in there. Walk to the chapel, and I'm all excited 'cause it's my birthday. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, what's like? I'm like pumped up. Like, all the homies can like send for me. Like, we're gonna fucking volo or whatever, right? And when I get there, the chaplain, he looked kind of like he had a look of concern on his face, and I was like, is everything all right? And he's like, oh, your grandma died yesterday. And I was like, oh fuck. Like, happy birthday to me, right?
Right.
So I was just like, oh shit. And my grandma was like, she was there for me like the entire time. Like, she had cancer and she would still come see me. And, it was hard for her. It was difficult for her, but she did whatever she could to come see me. And there'd be times like it was fucked up because there'd be times where she'd come and she wouldn't be able to see me because I'd be in lockup. But not in a lockup program, but I'd be in lockup where it's like, oh no, you can't see him. Or we would do something, the cottage would be on freeze. Like, no, you can't see him. So I started thinking about all that, and I was just like, damn, man, like I fucked up. And I started thinking like, 'cause I caught a gang of time. Like, one less fight and I could have been out.
Wow, one less fight.
One less fight, I could have been out.
Yeah.
Like, if I didn't rush, and a lot of the fights I had were of my doing. So, the riots, of course, that's Mandel. But the fights, a lot of them were because of me. I think I had about 2 fights that were Mandel for me. Other than that, it was just me just being a hardhead, just trying to think shit was funny.
Right.
And that shit ended up catching up to me, 20 years old. And I didn't get, and I always say it hurts not because of me. I deserved what I got. Right. But it's fucked up because my grandma, she didn't get a chance to say goodbye. And I robbed her of that.
Yeah. And the sad thing is that we have to live with that now.
Yeah.
I had a brother that did 11 years, and my mom passed away while he was in there, and he lives with that, man, and it hurts.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, my condolences and rest in peace to your grandmother.
Appreciate it, gracias.
But so you were a kid raised in El Monte, and I'm glad you said El Monte, not El Monte.
Nah, that's that we in Monte we just call it Monte.
Right.
So we don't even say the El a lot of times. We just say Monte.
Oh, good. Okay, now I want to ask you this: what do you think in a youngster develops the mindset of I want to spend the rest of my life in prison?
There's a notoriety, right? Like you want to have some kind of status. You want to be looked at as something. You want to be talked to. You want to be talked about, right? You want people to mention your name amongst what you think are the greats, right? So you're gonna. That's the way you can do it. We're limited in what we have and what we're taught, and the outreach that's given to us a lot of the times, it's not outreach that people recognize, right? It's like, because people used to come to try to talk to me, but I would say they look nothing like me. They're coming from somewhere else. Like we can't do that. Everyone that I seen here in my neighborhood, they weren't doing anything like that. I didn't know anyone who went to college. Right. I didn't know anyone like the cops and all that. They went somewhere else, right? So I think, at least for me, the way I seen it was, I don't fit in anywhere else. Right, I wasn't a athletic kid. I really wasn't into sports. I wasn't necessarily. I wasn't gifted or too talented. I'm not going to say like, oh, I blew my knee out, I could have made it to the NFL. Like, nah, I had no dreams of anything like that. My only dreams were going to prison and making something of myself. That's what I thought, right? So I think it's a lot of the time it's hopelessness. You don't understand or expect to understand outside of your environment. That's what you look at, and that's what you're like, this is it. This is for me. This is all I'm going to see. Yeah. Do you come from a big family? Like, do you have a lot of brothers, a lot of sisters? Yeah, a family of 5. I'm the oldest. Okay. Here was my mindset in, back then it was junior high school, today is middle school. Mm-hmm. Junior high school was 7th, 8th, and 9th. High school was 10th, 11th, 12th. I remember when I first went to Los Padrinos, LP. And in my mind, it was only a short stay. In my mind, I was mission accomplished. Yeah. My next one is going to be CYA. Mm-hmm. The next one probably county, and probably prison. Yeah. Okay. Because if you're from the streets, you got to go to prison, bro. That's where you earn your damn stripes. Yeah. That's when you come out. At least for a youngster. Yeah. I'm sharing this story as the way we thought here in the street. When you come out, hey man, you've earned your stripes. You got stars. You're like a fucking general. Yeah. You see them, the guys fresh out of the joint, big, all the hyenas on them, brand new clothes. You're like, damn, these fools are doing it. They throw parties for them. Yeah. He's doing it. Just like what you said. Oh yeah, the fool's doing it. Okay. There was a time that I had an ounce in my pocket. Cops pulled me over, and they couldn't find it. When they left, I actually said to myself 2 things. Fuck, I almost got caught. And then the other one goes, fuck, I wanted to get caught. Yeah. Because I wanted to go, at least in my mind, I thought I did. Mm-hmm. All my other friends were going to prison. They would come out, throw a party, we'd celebrate them. In my mind, to be quite honest with you, and this is the way we thought, at least that's the way I thought, I felt left out because I didn't go. Yeah. But you know one thing, some dude told me like this, nah, man, you just didn't get caught slipping. Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of the times, like you said, you built your name as being busted. So if you didn't get caught slipping, sometimes you didn't have those war stories that everyone else had. So you're like, oh, fuck, I want to get some war stories. But the war stories, they're cool. Hey, people listen to them, but it's better to not get them. Right. It's better to not get them, So I get people all the time that like to, and I'm not trying to down anybody, but I like to brag about their pin stories, and almost like if, and I say like if, because I don't know what their true intentions are in sharing their pin stories. But fool, I walked the main line. Fool, I ate spreads. Fool, I did burpees in my cell. Fool, we did put in work. Okay, cool. I was out here working, bro. Yeah. I just never got caught. Yeah. Does that make me more dangerous or less dangerous? So
I respect people that you know, that they have a story they want to share. But my thing is, let's turn that into something positive.
Yeah, definitely.
Because somebody's watching you and is really thinking to themselves, I want to spend the rest of my life the way that guy did.
Yeah.
You know, sure, I got 30 years to waste. You know, but
And 30 years when you're 15 doesn't seem that much. But then when you are 30 years old, it's like, fuck, I got another 15 years.
Another 15 years, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and I say this respectfully to my friend that might be watching. He went in when he was 16 years old and just recently got out. He did 31 years. You know, and I guarantee you, if we've talked, one thing that he told me just don't want to talk about it, wish he could take all that back.
Yeah.
You know, I think what really helped me, you know, stop, if you will, fucking around was when they called me to the chapel and my mom was there after I told her, do not come visit me. And then she was crying. And then she just kept telling me, ¿Por qué, Antonio? Why?
Yeah.
And that right there really fucking hurt me. And I just wised up and I said, okay, cool. I think in 1994, I think it was that year, I did a little short stay in the county jail. And I thought to myself, fuck this place. Bro, just the processing in that motherfucker, bro, will have you not wanting to ever go back. You know?
Jail is like, much love to all the homies that are doing their thing. I don't disrespect anybody, right? But jail sucks. Just the place itself sucks. Because you can't do shit, right? Yeah. It's like you can't even, like, you come out with motherfuckers, like the staff wants you to, or oh, you guys can't come out today. Like, fuck that. It's like, I don't know. I love my freedom. And that's one thing that I learned is when I got out is, it's the shit to be out here. I remember I'd be at working and I would say, you know what? I'm going to call out and I'm going to go to the beach. Because I can do that.
You can do that.
Yeah, nobody's going to stop me.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to take off my shirt, show off this hot bod.
I probably wouldn't do that.
No, I'm just playing, brother. Okay, so now, around what age would you say, man, did you finally just said, enough with this? I need to change my life around. Was there ever a moment like that?
Yeah, definitely. I was fresh out of YA. I was on the streets. And this is the crazy part, because I know how difficult it is for people to straighten up. Because when I got out, I came home to a healthy environment. Both of my parents were working. We had a car for the first time. Like, everything was good. Yeah. And even then, it was still difficult for me to like stay out, because there'd be times where I'd be running from the cops. There'd be times jumping fences.
Which would be fun.
Yeah, but I was like, I don't want to go back to jail. Like, fuck that, right? Right. And I think to myself, like, what am I doing? I'm going to go back, man. I'm going to go back. But I was kind of playing the game like, if it happens, it happens kind of thing. But then my now she's my wife. My wife got pregnant, back then my girlfriend. And I thought to myself, like, you know, my mom and dad seen this shit. I seen this shit. Do I want them to see this shit? Right. And I had to make a decision. And I just said, you know what? Like, I think it's time for me to, I know what I didn't want. And I took it from there. Right. So I said, I don't want them to see the certain things that I seen. And no knock on my parents, because they did the best they could. You know, they came from less than ideal circumstances themselves. Yeah. So I don't put any blame on them, but I'm just saying, like, they showed me what they knew, and I didn't want to show my kids what I knew. Right. I wanted to show them something else. Okay, and you became a good example for them. I tried to. You know, there's still times where I feel like maybe I could have did things a little different, but I'm not showing them the things that they could have seen. Okay. Now, I wanted to ask you, now that you pretty much have changed your life, you're a family man, you know, you have a podcast now. Mm-hmm. What inspired that podcast, and what was it now that made you say, you know what, I just don't want to do interviews, I want to share my life? You know, what is it exactly that you do through this podcast, and what inspired that? Yeah, I appreciate that. It might not seem like it now because I fucked up and things reversed. But I ended up on a TV show. And on that TV show, I had to vlog every day. So it was a weight loss show. It was a show called Revenge Body with Khloe Kardashian. So really? I was on that show, and I had a vlog every day. And at first, it was really difficult because, you know, you're from the street, you don't talk to the cameras. Right. Shit, right? And so it's like, and they would tell me, you need a vlog. That was probably the hardest thing for me. Like, everything else was pretty easy. Like, fuck it. You have to box with somebody, you box with somebody. You have to work out, right? Eat. They provided the food, so that made it easier. My boy Leon, much love to my boy Leon. He provided the food. And so all that was easy for me, right? It's like, but the hardest part was vlogging.
Wow.
So I had a vlog and then send it to a certain app and shit. And I was like, I can't do this shit.
Right.
And after a while, like they got on my ass. Like, we need more from you. Like, you're going to need a vlog. So I said, all right, cool. So I started vlogging and shit. I got used to it. And when the show was over, I was like, oh, I still got more to say. Like, I didn't really get to say a lot that I wanted to say because they cut out a lot of that. So I started a YouTube channel and I just started talking. At first, it actually started off talking about my life. So that's what I started doing first, just talking about me, the things I was going through. My pops was on the show with me, and he ended up passing about 3 months after the show wrapped. So he never even got to see the episode.
Wow, rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace to my pops. And so I was just like, I had to wait. I had a lot I wanted to say too because I signed a NDA. So I couldn't say shit about anything until they aired it. But once they aired it, then that's when I dropped my YouTube channel and I started chopping it up and saying different things. And I started talking about a lot of stuff I didn't talk about before. The California News Authority. It wasn't really a common topic back then. So I started talking a lot about that. And I said, you know what? I know a lot of other people who have been to the Youth Authority. One of them was a really good friend of mine now, Young Beeves. Back then he was an enemy of mine. Right? Street shit, right? We're enemies in YA. We, handled our business and shit, whatever. But I was gonna write a book about YA before anything. So I was doing interviews with people. And he was one of the people that reached out. And he's like, what's up, man? It's me, Young Beeves. I don't know if you remember me. I was like, yeah, I remember you, homie, right? And he's like, I'm down to do it. I don't know how you feel. Like, I'm down to do the interview for the book. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm a grown-ass man. Let's do it, dog. So I talked to him, and I do the interview, and I was just blown away by his story. I was like, fuck, man, like, this fool has been through a lot, because he went through a lot. And I didn't see things from his perspective. I seen it from my perspective. I thought he was getting his ride on. Oh, hell yeah, homie's handling business. Like, that's fucking, like, damn, like, he really going through it. Or, like, that motherfucker's doing it, though. And at times, I'd even be jealous. Like, because this fool's getting down every day, and it's like, oh, shit, right? Because it was just him. He didn't have anyone to, where if he did something, it wouldn't fall back on other people. It was just him.
It was just,
Yeah, so, where me, if I did something, I have homies there that they might end up involved in what I did. So, when I heard a story and I heard, like, him talking, like, no, that shit was fucked up. Like, that shit wasn't fun. That shit was fucked up.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. So, I interviewed him. And then when I started the YouTube channel, I said, hey, would you mind doing it again for my YouTube channel? He's like, I wouldn't mind at all. Let's do it. And that's when I found out he's a comedian and all that. That to me was a trip because I was like, oh shit, this fool turned his tragedy into comedy. That's basically what comedy is, right?
Right.
Yeah. So he jumped on. Right after that was homie Rumble from Monrovia. That's my boy right there too. I was in YA with him also, and he ended up turning an 18-month youth authority stay into 14 years and paroled from Pelican Bay, right? Wow. So he never got out. Like, he was just like, and I interviewed him and showed his story. And after that, people like, hey, interview me. And I was like, because there wasn't really an outlet for YA babies. So I started interviewing other people. And then from there, it just kind of evolved into, okay, I'll interview artists too. So I interviewed artists, I interviewed a lawyer, interviewed a psychologist, just different people, business people. And then after that, I just started adding other things because I wanted to make, I see myself as more of a content creator, right? So I'm creating content. So I ended up doing like Mental Health Mondays. I do that every Monday, talk about mental health issues. And then from there, like now my newest venture is Traviesos, the animated series, where I'm telling a story through animation. And it's like a series. It's like a TV show. We get this shit going every week. It's an animated short series, and it follows these characters around and shows what they go through.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like, for me, it was just chance, really. Right. Just like, let me just take a chance. Fuck it. Yeah. See what happens.
And how long now have you been doing this podcast for?
About, I think it'll be 3 years in September.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? Same thing with me.
Yeah.
In September 11th, it'll be 3 years.
Yeah. I think it was September 27th or something. It was after I did my episode. My episode aired on August 28th, a day before my birthday.
Okay.
No, July 28th. I forgot. It was somewhere around there, but I forgot the exact date. Mm-hmm. But when I started doing it, but I think it was in September or August, but right after that.
Right. I remember when I believe it was one of your friends that reached out to me.
Yeah, well, Dopey CY Entertainment.
Yes. And he had said, you know what, I want to get you on or whatnot. And you know what I said? At that time, I wasn't doing no interviews, and I'm not really doing no interviews now because I just want to remain exclusive. But I had heard of you because sometimes you just want to channel surf through YouTube and you come across. And really what got my attention was you had a bunch of all these dolls, like a gang of them.
Yeah.
And I thought it was like a comic book podcast or something. But and then you had a board like in back of you of all kinds of like written stuff,
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is this? So I listen, but it had nothing to do with these, But so when I got reached out to, like, hey, you want to do this? And then you called me back immediately, and I was like, bro, I don't do interviews, but let's do it, man.
Yeah,
why
I
not?
appreciate that.
I showed up there and I told you I could talk whatever you want, bro. I'm a very transparent person. Whatever you want to ask me. We have callers, whatever they want to ask, let's do it.
Yeah.
I really had a great time there, bro.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. You know what? And I know we have a mutual friend, Shady Boy.
Yes, sir. That's the boy right there.
Shady Boy. I know you had Marvelous.
Yeah, Marvelous is the boy right there too.
Yeah, you had Marvelous there. What I want to do, we're going to go to break, but I want to talk about some of your favorite episodes.
Yeah.
And have you had any like off the wall crazy experiences with some of the guys that you've interviewed?
Yes, sir.
I have a couple, but I also have some of my favorite ones that I want to share with you as well. But now let me ask you this: how far do you want to go with this? As far as do you eventually want to? Because if I'm correct, you do it out of your home. Do you eventually want to go somewhere else, do it bigger, and invite more people, or like? What is your dream up from this?
So my dream for this is just to create more content, and I want to basically have a show, like a show that I can do, whether it be Traviesos, the animated series, or another thing. I want to show that we can do it on our own. We don't need a lot, because sometimes we wait for people.
Yes,
and I've learned they're not coming, right? They're not coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I said, fuck it, I'm gonna create it myself, even if I don't have the budget. Even if people be like, that shit, their arms aren't moving. You're not doing this, right? Like, I don't care. I'm going to work with what I have, and I'm going to create. And I want other people to also be inspired to be creative, because we are creative people. Like.
Thank you for saying that.
We're artists.
So look, really quick, just allow me to interject. Somebody may say, oh, the arms don't move, that looks cheap. See, here's the way I am, and maybe this is not you. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
that's just me. Don't sweat mine. Don't hate on me. If you don't like it, don't watch. But we have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And you said it best. We waiting on people, but they're not coming.
Yeah.
One thing that I do want to encourage people that are starting their own content, their own music, their own acting career, whatever you're doing, release good content. And I'm gonna tell you the truth because it happened to me. They'll come knocking at your door, bro. They'll come looking for you. If I've never been there, I can never take you there. I can never tell you about it.
Yeah.
I was releasing mixtapes from the swap meet, and we get signed to Disney.
Yeah.
Okay, we release good content. They came knocking. So as of right now, ain't nobody coming. Just get to work.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and then you have to show them. You have to show them, like, they're like, you did all that by yourself. A lot of people trip out. Like, you do all that on your own?
Yeah.
Well, not alone with the voice. I have voice actors, but when it comes to the Traviesos, the animated series, I write it. I write the entire script. I have help with the animation now, so that's dope. I do have much love to Jaron Draws and my boy Mono, so they help with the animation, the editing of the voices. I do that. Most of the music in the back, I do that. Because I used to make beats and shit.
Yeah.
So I do that, and the editing, I do all that, and it's kind of a trip because I use everything that I've learned throughout the years.
Right.
And even when I started podcasting, because I used to rap and shit, so it's like I have the mics, I have this. Like, all I need is a camera. So it's like everything you learn along the way, you can use. Put it in your arsenal.
Yes.
Put it in your arsenal and put it to use. And don't say, nah, that ain't going to work, because it might not work. Rapping didn't work out for me, right? It just didn't happen. It's cool.
Yeah.
I still do it for fun, whatever. But the things that I learned from it did. Like what I know how to put on the show. Right?
Yes.
I know how to put on a show. I know if there's people in front, how to get the crowd excited, right? I know how to make beats. So if I need to make a score for something, I can do that. I know how to edit vocals. I know how to do all that. And so I put it to use. And that's so it wasn't a waste of time. It was something that was put in my arsenal.
Let me ask you a question before we go to break. Are you having fun doing it?
Oh, I love it.
That's all that matters.
I love it.
So, all good. So, listen, everybody, we're going to go ahead and take a 10-minute break. So, make sure you call somebody, text somebody, page somebody, slap the shit out of somebody, and let them know that Incredible Javier is in the motherfucking building, and we'll be back. My boy from El Monte, not Monty. So. Welcome back, everyone, to Roadium Radio episode 249. And as I open my Pacifico, my boy Alex right here actually got some announcements for the people that have been on the live chat. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, shout out to, I don't know if they can hear me. Let me see. Yeah, shout out to American Cholo. And shout out to Corey for dropping money on the live chat. So that's so far all we got.
Thank you for making it rain, American Cholo and Corey.
Much love to American Cholo. Gil, man, he's actually the first person to interview me too.
Really?
So, yeah, so much love to Gil. And La Patrona, much love.
La Patrona. Who's La Patrona?
That's Corey.
Corey. Much love, Corey. She was live when I was at your show.
Oh, yeah.
And she's from the city.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, so is Norbert. He's here too. Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, okay, let's pick up right where we left off. Okay, this podcast that you're running now. You know what? First, let's promote the name of it because I would like my subscribers to be your subscribers as well.
I appreciate that.
So yeah, go ahead and give a plug to your YouTube. I know your Instagram is up on the screen and it's also on the descriptions like Twix is as well. But as far as your YouTube, where can they find you?
YouTube.com/Incredible Javier.
Incredible Javier.
And then also same thing for Instagram and TikTok. It didn't fit, so it's just Incredible Javi with the JAVIE. Didn't let me put the R.
Okay. Now, what is so incredible about Javier?
Well, you know what? The way I got the name is a trip. It's back to that show.
Okay.
So back to the show, they gave me a robe, and they said, "What do you want put on the back of the robe?" I was like, "I don't know." Right? And when I was a kid, I'm a huge wrestling fan.
Yes.
Huge wrestling fan. But when I was a kid, we didn't have and this actually worked to my benefit. We didn't really have the money to buy us the name brand toys. So my mom would go to the swap meet and get us like the knockoffs and shit. So right. I was able to get those toys and we would name them different things. And my character, when I was a kid, was Incredible Javier. So I'd wrestle with my brothers under that name and I'd play with my toy. This is Incredible Javier right here. It had his own theme song and everything. Yeah. Right? And like a drum line. That's how I kind of did Incredible Javier. Like it was that's when I was a little kid, right?
Yeah.
So when I did the show, they're like, "What do you want put it back of the robe?" And I was rapping under the name of Mexica Aslan. I said, "I put Mexica Aslan on the back." I was like, "Nah, they probably won't understand what it means. What could I put? I could put I was thinking, what could I put? And I just thought about my old wrestling name, right? Like, put Incredible Javier. So I put Incredible Javier in the back of it. And then when they introduced me, now coming to the ring from El Monte, California, Incredible Javier. For me, that was the shit. Because I love wrestling, right?
Did you walk out like the Bushwhackers?
Oh, I came out like, nah, I just came out like, I had the boxing gloves on. I came out like excited, right? The curtain, I bust through the curtain.
Hell yeah.
And the crowd is on their feet. And I was excited. I was like, hell yeah. And after that, when I started the YouTube channel, I was like, I'll just keep it Incredible Javier.
That's dope, man. Well, that's incredible. That's dope, man. Okay, so now you have one show. I know you have quite a bit of shows. You mentioned one that you do on Mondays.
Yeah, Mental Mondays.
You mentioned one day room, if I'm correct.
Yeah, the day room.
What exactly is that? I mean, I know what a day room is, but explain it, please, for the people that are watching.
So the day room is where me and we're actually having one this Saturday. Mm-hmm. Me and a group of other individuals, anywhere from 2 to 3 individuals, will get together and talk about different topics. Last time we talked about entrepreneurship. Sometimes we talk about just, trauma, just different things, right? So I had about 20 last year, and this year I'm trying to get more going. So it just talk about just different topics that we don't really normally get to discuss, and you get to hear everybody's point of view. And it's dope because you have different, like I've had a lot of different people who jump on there. Spice One has even been on the day room. Yeah. So I've had a lot of different people come on the day room and chop it up just about different things. And sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't, but it's always a respectful conversation.
Yes.
And that's what I always try to promote is like, I'm used to nobody agreeing with me. Like for real.
And you know what? And I can respect that from you, bro, because I may say something like, Tony, I don't see it that way, but you know what? I understand. Maybe we will never see it the same way, but ¿sabes qué? We don't have to argue and fight with each other.
Exactly.
We just see things a little bit differently.
Because at the end of the day, people want to live happily. Yes. People want to be healthy, and they want to make memories. Just different ways of getting there.
Right.
And that's all it is. It's just different ways of getting there and different ways. Okay, well, I see it this way. I see it that way. So for me, it's like I love to get people on there and we can have those discussions. And we've never had a day room that got out of, well, I should say never. One time, but I wasn't there. But for the most part, when I've been the host, we've never had day rooms get out of control.
Okay. When it did get out of control, what was it like? Or you don't have to necessarily name the people that were there.
I had to. No, it was the callers. It's always the callers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
The callers will fluster somebody, and
like what would I don't like that shit. I don't agree. Or
I think they were just talking shit to the co-host who took over the hosting duty for the day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he was like, he's not used to this. He's, you know what I mean. So he took offense to it, and it was just like, it was a trip. But that's the boy. I got much love for him, and it was my fault for putting him in that predicament in the first place. I should have laced him up.
Okay.
And you live and you learn, right? I should have laced him up like, hey, ignore him, dog. Just ignore it.
Right. Okay. You brought up Spice One. Did you ever watch the episode that I did here with Spice
Yes,
One?
I did. Yeah.
We got fucked.
Yeah, he could blaze like a motherfucker.
Oh, dude, he could drink, bro. We finished tequila, and after that, he went on to whiskey.
Yeah, when he was there, we were chilling for a while. He was just blazing like crazy. I was like, damn, this motherfucker could smoke.
There's a lot of guys that they're like choo-choo trains.
Yeah.
You know? But, dude, like, we got fucked. He could Bushwick Bill stories, Tupac stories. Man, that was a classic interview. I know music, so I love talking to people that know music. So since I brought up music, let's talk about your rap career. When did it start and when did it fizzle away?
I'd say it started around 2005.
Okay.
2005, fizzled away. I'd say maybe when I started the podcast, I was just like, I had to choose. I had to make a choice. What am I going to do?
Right.
Am I going to do the YouTube channel full blast or this? And by that point, I was already kind of like, I wasn't really doing shows anymore. I was still releasing music, but I wasn't actually out there promoting it. So I said, because I have a child with special needs. I have 4 children.
Yes.
A child with special needs that's 100% reliant on our care.
Yes.
And I can't really leave my wife. She's down. Like, she'll tell me, just go. Just like right now, I'm out here. She's at the house. She'll tell me, just go.
Give a shout out to her.
Yeah, much love, Rosie. Love you, baby. Yeah, so she'll tell me, just go. But I couldn't see myself doing it on a weekly basis and just being like, damn, like that's a lot, right? So I would stay home, and when this was the perfect opportunity for me to be able to do what I want to do from the house. But you asked earlier, if there was an opportunity for me to move to a studio, I would do that still. And my wife would understand because she knows that's part of the growth process. And that's probably the next step of our evolution.
Right. So now you said your name was Mexica something?
Mexica Aslan.
Mexica Aslan. Okay. How did you get that name and did you have a different rap name before that?
I Cricket Nasty before that.
Cricket Nasty. Okay. The Nasty keeps popping up. Why Nasty? Are you just one of those nasty guys?
No, so when I was a kid, right, in Monte, the homies, there was a homie named, and I never met him, but his name was Nasty Spider.
Okay.
Yeah, you call him Nasty Spider. And the boys I used to roll with when we Shadow, Violent, Toro, my brother-in-law, we used to fuck around. And instead of saying nasty something, we would say something nasty, right? Like V Nasty, Cricket Nasty, Shadow Nasty, shit like that, right? So we basically took what he had. And then so when I went to YA, because my dad called himself Scanless Cricket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's Scanless Cricket, right? And he goes, if you want there with your hand get shook, your money get took and shit like that, right? That was the trip, right? So I didn't want to be, I wasn't Little Cricket, but I didn't want to be Little Scanless Cricket. So I wanted something for myself. So when I got to YA, I started introducing myself as Cricket Nasty. Oh, what's up, Cricket Nasty from Monte Flores? And they'd be like, oh, orale, right? So, and I would write that shit everywhere, like Cricket Nasty, EMF, and just fucking, and it's fucked up because they tore down Nellis after I left. Like, oh shit, I thought generations would see this shit, but nah.
Right.
It's probably better anyways. I'm glad nobody has to go there anymore. But fucking, so when I got out, I would just introduce myself the same way. What's up, homie, Cricket Nasty.
Okay, now why the name Cricket now?
It's my pops' name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So my dad is from my neighborhood, and he was Cricket. So he gave me the name.
Okay, so you're pretty much like the younger version of Cricket.
Yeah, and that bothered me for a long time.
Why?
Because I wanted to be my own person.
Okay.
So, and that's what I said earlier when I went to YA, I was excited. I was excited because my dad never went to YA. So I was like, yeah.
I got you now.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. and so for a long time, me and my pops, and I'm writing a book about it actually. I actually wrote the book. I just need to get an editor, and I'll put that. That's my next project after Travieso series. So we had this relationship where we were homies, but when it came to father and son, it was very rocky relationship. A lot of misunderstanding. We projected insecurities onto each other, and a lot of times we couldn't really sit down and have a conversation. And I would compete with him for everything. I wanted to be better than my dad. And it was kind of crazy because when I stepped away and I stopped hitting the streets, I felt like, damn, I lost my identity. And my pop said something one time, and it really bothered the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
He said, son, I'm so glad I no longer have gangster sons. So what the fuck you trying to say? Right? So I thought he's disrespecting me. Like, you ain't a gangster kid. Like, he tried like a backhanded compliment kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it was me projecting my insecurities onto him. So before he passed away, we really had a chance to chop it up. We didn't get to say everything we wanted to say, but we chopped it up. And, you know, on the show too, I talked to him on there. And then after, when he was in the hospital, I talked to him there. And I had a better understanding that he was really proud. And it was a trip to find that out. So yeah, growing up, I didn't even want to be Cricket at first.
Right.
I wanted to be, it's a stupid name, but I was going to be Foolish.
Okay.
But everyone was like, I ain't gonna call you that, dog. You're a little Cricket. We're gonna call you
Foolish.
Cricket. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big fool, SA, and all that. Right? It's like, nah, man, they're gonna call you that, dog.
Fool's gone wild. Huh?
Yeah. You know what I mean? And they're like, I ain't gonna call you that. So they would call me Cricket, Little Cricket. And then my dad was like, don't be Little Cricket, just be Cricket. I ain't even out there like that. This is your time. So that's why I just became Cricket. And
you know, I want to ask you something because I've asked not a lot of my artists this question, but since you brought up your father, I want to ask you, do you have any special memories, any special moments that you spent with your father?
Oh, a lot.
Okay.
A lot. You know, like I said, I get to look at the TV show and see him speak.
Yes.
So he's there. Like, I get to see him on there. When I wanted to do my first music video, he's had this mini truck. He was bumping the song so that we can be recorded walking down the street. And he was walking alongside. Like, or not driving alongside us, right? So he's driving alongside. Like, my pops was always supportive of me. He wanted to be a DJ. He was a DJ when he was, I forgot the name of his crew, but he had a DJ crew. So that's why when I grew up listening to hip hop, because my pops, like, you probably, some of your cassettes, and you probably had them, right?
Yeah.
So, because I remember the first time I seen the NWA and the Posse was a record.
Yeah.
My dad had the record, and he used to scratch and everything, and he always told me, he's like, son, I'm gonna support you no matter what you do, because my dad never supported me. He'd always tell me, put that shit down and go to work. Yeah, so he was real supportive of me. Right? My pops was real supportive of me. But yeah, he was a DJ. He was very artistic. He could break dance, and
damn, it sounds like me.
Yeah, it was a trip because we'd be blazing it, and my dad would come, and I'd say, Dad, spin, do a spin. And I throw cardboard, and he was probably about 30 something at the time.
Right.
And he would just start spinning on his back and popping and all that shit. And we would just fucking clown, like trip out, like, man, your dad's a fucking fool, dog. Like, hey, he's a G, right? Like, because he was raised in the 80s.
Yeah.
So that was his time. And yeah, he was always so full of life. So yeah, I have so many memories of my pops. Like, he was a trip, man. A lot of the music taste I have is because of him.
That's awesome. That's awesome, bro. You know, the reason why I bring that up is because the people that I did, who would share like some of their jail stories, I would ask them about their father, and many of them, you know, would say, I don't have a good memory of my father. I don't. I have a lot of great memories of my father. One thing I will say this, and it wasn't until I got on social media that I knew how to put it into words, because I saw a quote, and it said, I was raised right. I chose to do wrong all on my own.
Yeah.
And it's the truth.
Yeah.
You know, my mother and my father were not about any type of life, but working and taking care of the family. But I was a fucking pinche diablo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until until I saw my mother's eyes that she said, "Por qué, Antonio?" And I just like, man, I'm fucking hurting her, bro.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind, my mother and my father are no longer here. Like, I'm 54 years old, bro. But I'm a lot like your dad. I feel like I just turned 28 again.
Yeah.
You know, so I can understand when people say age is just a number, because I can still break dance, I can still pop, I can still DJ, and I can't rap worth shit, but I can sure remember lyrics.
Yes,
you know what
sir.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I still feel very young. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as with my kids, One thing that I don't ever recall my father ever telling me te quiero mucho or I love you. But I tell my daughters and I tell all my kids, I love you. You know, if anything, I always want them to know that I'm very open to tell them that I love them.
Yeah.
So you know, I think it's very, very important for us to tell our children that.
I agree with that. And I got lucky. My mom and dad would always tell me they love me. So even though like there'd be times, and again, I'm not trying to shit on my parents or anything, but there'd be times where I didn't feel like a priority.
Yes.
But I always knew they loved me.
Yes.
I always knew they loved me. And that always like comforted me. You mean, like I might, they might be doing other shit or whatever, but I know they love me. And I let my kids know, and now it's them who won't tell me. But I don't give a fuck. I'm still gonna tell them. Like, I love you guys. Dad, stop acting weird. I don't care. I love you guys. So what?
Right.
Like when you guys become parents, you will understand.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And that's when they'll realize, like, yeah, okay.
You know what's a beautiful thing? I'm gonna tell you right now. One day when you become a grandparent, it's like you have your kids all over again, bro. And like it truly is. Like my grandbabies live with me. Vincent and Anthony. I'll give them a shout out right now. Vincent and Anthony, when they grow up, you'll be able to see this. But I tell them all the time, I love you. And I want them to call me grandpa.
Yeah.
Because I don't look like an old dude.
Yeah.
And that's an old sounding name. So it kind of like contradicts.
Yeah.
But that's what I tell them. I love you, Vincent. I love you, Anthony. I love you, grandpa. And I love to be called that, man.
Yeah.
But it's important for me to continuously remind them that they're loved. I bring that up because do you think a lot of youth get into trouble because possibly they're not loved at home or they're not told?
I think that, and this is, when I think people misunderstood what I said this before, but I'll explain it. So whatever you're lacking at home, you will find on the streets.
I believe that.
So, and I don't mean like it's a great substitution, but if you're looking for a father, you're going to find a father on the streets. It might not be ideal, but you're going to find an older cat to take you in, to show you the ropes, right? If you're looking for a family, you'll find a family on the streets. And it might not be ideal because that brotherhood and it's going to be based on a struggle. It's going to be based on all of you guys relating to each other and being full of trauma. If you're looking for acknowledgement, you're going to find it on the streets. You just have to put in work and do all that. So whatever you're lacking at home, you definitely are going to find on the streets. It's just going to be a twisted version of that. So yeah, I think there's a lot of people, or I was busted to people who, like, they never looked forward to visits. They didn't get no visits. They had nobody to call in, nobody to write, right? It's like,
that's a fucked up feeling.
Yeah, and at times I'd be like that where people clown me because I lived in I grew up in Monte, but we were in Whittier. In Nellis. They'd be like, Dad, you never get visits. You just down the street. But it's like, dog, my parents don't have a car. That's a mission. You know what I mean? Like, that's a fucking mission. So, and I was like, I put myself here. They didn't put me here. So, you know what I mean? So,
but you owned up to that. I put myself
here.
here.
Yeah, I've always known. My parents always told me to stay out of trouble. I chose to not. Even though I didn't know what to do, I could have figured it out. And I know that for a fact because I figure shit out now.
Yes.
You know? So it's like, if I don't know how to do something, I'll figure it out. And I suppose I know if I put my mind to it, I could have definitely went to college. I could have did a lot with my life. And I still could. It ain't over. Right?
It ain't over.
Yeah. So, but at the time, like, I just chalked it up to walk the easier route. My parents, if they would have preferred for me to do something else in my life, but I'm glad they're proud of me now.
No, that's a beautiful thing, man. And and that's one thing about me, and I want to share this, and I shared it possibly like maybe many episodes ago. One thing about me is this. Even though people have always told me, oh, you know what, your mom and dad are very proud of you, of everything you have accomplished. Here's my thing, bro. You know what I've always wanted to accomplish, and I never gave it to my parents?
What's that?
I wanted to graduate from elementary, which I did. I wanted to graduate from junior high school, and I never did.
Yeah.
I wanted to graduate from high school, and I never did. I wanted to graduate from college, and I never did. So, believe it or not, some people may say, don't beat yourself up, Tony. You could tell me that all you want, and I know your intentions are well, but you know what? I still have to live with that.
Yeah.
Because my parents are no longer here, and I wish I could have gave them that. If I would have given them that, honestly, I would be one happy camper, and I'm like, you know what? I put a smile on their face.
Yeah.
They came to see their son wear a cap and gown, even though I probably would have felt goofy as fuck, but I would have given them that. And I didn't. Now there's many ways that my mom has always told me, or many things that I've accomplished that my mom has always told me, you know what? I'm proud of you. But it always goes back to the school thing.
Yeah.
You know, what parent tells their kid, hey, mijo, fuck that teacher. Do whatever the fuck you want. No. Pay attention, mijo.
Yeah.
Be smart. You know, get good grades. Get a good job. Take care of your family. That's what we want.
Yeah. That's all. I always tell my kids, I just want you to be happy. And you know what's the trouble about that? I felt bad for my mom because she had 5 kids and never seen any of them walk.
Really?
I got my GED in YA. My brother graduated but decided not to go.
Wait. He graduated and decided not to go.
Yeah, he was like, fuck that, I'm done with school. I don't care.
Wow.
So he just wanted to leave. He's gonna be a lawyer now. He took a 10-year hiatus and he's actually in law school right now. He'll be in law school in summer.
Well, you know what? We applaud him.
Yeah, that's my little brother. I love that guy. That's my little brother. My other little brother, he didn't graduate. My little sister didn't graduate. And the youngest one, he just said no one else walked. I'm not walking either. So he didn't walk. So she didn't ever watch any of her kids walk at graduation. And in June, she'll finally see her granddaughter walk. So my daughter, my daughter will graduate and walk. So,
you know, whether people want to take this as an encouraging message or not, I'm going to say this. Let us break the cycle.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Let us break the cycle and encourage our kids, our grandkids. Mijo, you know what? Graduate, mijo. Go to school. Listen to your teacher. Don't do it because we didn't do it.
Yeah.
You know? Do it because we want to see you succeed. You know what I'm saying? Make your parents happy. I think it's time to break those cycles.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. And that's, you know, I always try to tell my kids, as long as you guys are happy, if you want to be creative, be creative. If you want to be administrative, be administrative.
Yes.
Do something that makes you happy. I said, just don't get involved in something that make you miserable. Because I've been there. You know, I've had jobs that I fucking hated.
Yeah.
And they weren't even hard jobs, easy money. I just hated going there.
Yeah.
And I told my kids, like, I don't care if you have a 1-bedroom apartment and you don't have much money, but if you're happy,
yes,
do it. Like,
yes.
do what makes you happy. Like, I'll support you until I die. Like, shit.
Yeah. You know, let me ask you an off-the-wall question, okay?
Yes, sir.
Does money make you happy?
No. I could buy things with it. I'm used to not having it. So, I'm happy now, and I'm not rich. I'm rich in spirit. I'm rich in I have a wealth when it comes to memories and family. Like that's where I'm rich, right? I'm rich in the support that I receive. Even when it comes, like, you see, like, I don't know if you see, like even in the chat, the Nasty Crew, they're deep, right? I have a lot of support.
Yes.
I have a lot of people who back what I do.
Yes.
And it's not because I'm this awesome guy, but it's because my intentions are good.
No, it's because you're incredible.
I have my intentions. I have good intentions for what I try to do in life, and because of that, it makes me happy. I know I'm not doing anyone dirty. I'm not playing anyone short. Everything I do is with the pure heart. So because of that, I'm happy. I can die tomorrow and I'll be fine. The only thing that sucks is that I won't be able to give my family anything, and that's where I am trying to fix that.
Yes.
But it has nothing to do with me. I'm happy with where I'm at right now, but I do want more for my family.
Absolutely. You know, somebody asked me on the show one time, do you ever want to be rich one day? And I said, I am.
Yeah.
I am with my family. And I'm going to tell you something, Javier, and this is the honest to God truth. I asked you earlier, you know, are you having fun? If you would ask me that, I'll say absolutely. You know why? Because I get to sit down with people like yourself and learn. Even though I'm older, that age shit doesn't matter to me, bro.
Yeah.
You know, there are some people that are stupid and old and still say, who are you to talk to me? I'm older than you. Nah, bro. You know, look, if we don't listen, we can never learn anything. You know, I'm learning from you, and I'm seeing that, you know, you love your family. You want to go further. You want to educate your children, and you want to educate the next generation, and you want to succeed in what you do.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm all for that, bro. So, and I'm going to say this, there's no room for hate. We just need to stop hating on each other, bro. You know what? It isn't outside, it's the inside. It's the Raza hating on Raza, bro. You know, I know we have black on black crime, but we have also brown on brown crime, bro.
And you know what's so trippy to me about that is that it takes a lot of energy to be angry, hostile, and carry that animosity. Because that's something you have to constantly remind yourself of.
Yes.
You have to carry that every day. It's so much easier, maybe not on your pride, but it's so much easier to just let things go and just say, you know what? fuck it, man. I'm gonna support them no matter what. Let me tell you the truth. There's people who maybe don't like me, or I don't really due to like we're not really close or really cool like that, but I'll support them no matter what. Just because I'm not gonna tear another Chicano or Chicana down. That's not what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is just because there's enough people that I'm not gonna say don't want us to see us succeed, but they're indifferent to our success.
Yes.
Right? So because of that, somebody has to be a cheerleader like, hey, fuck yeah, do it. Even if I don't agree with that person or what they're doing or how they're doing it, if they're grinding, if they're trying to make better life for themselves, I'm going to say go for it. And I'm not going to speak ill of them. I'm going to say, hey, handle it. If they speak ill of me, it is what it is. That's on them. That's something they have to live with. That's not something I have to live with.
Yes. I would say this, that when I started podcasting, I started mentioning like every other podcast that I could imagine. I was trying to look for like people that were Raza, that were podcasting, so that I can maybe I can help them out. Maybe I can give them a shout out, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm still doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
My thing is this, I want people to remember me as Tony was for the people.
Yeah.
Tony was trying to help people. Tony wanted this for the people. People don't like me, cool, whatever. But all I've ever done to this platform was try to help people. And if you don't like that, then maybe there's something wrong with you internally. You know what I'm saying? My thing is this, I'm for everyone. I reached out to you and I invited you here because I wanted you here. You have a story, you have a podcast, you have a family, and I have to respect you, man.
No, I appreciate that. And we have to respect what you do too. And that's why I trip out like when people try to tear down Tony A, right? It's like, dog, who else is doing this for us? Like, come on. Right? Like you have a platform, you have a name recognition, and you could choose to say, nah, I ain't got to bring nobody on here, right?
Yes.
But you bring, I have a fraction of the subscribers that you have, right? And you still roll through. I had even less when you came on my podcast, you know what I mean? So for me, it's like, I always remember shit like that. And that's why, you always have to do the same thing. I always say, like, if I've done anything for anybody, don't worry about paying me back. Just help the next person out. Yeah. That's the way I look at it. Like, don't worry. Like, you don't got to do shit for me. I ain't expecting anything. But if somebody needs help and you can assist, pull them up.
Right. No, and I'm all for that. I want to mention one thing to the fans out there that are watching this. This is what I've gone through. I don't let it bug me, but I want to bring it to light in case somebody out there wants to start up a podcast, the things that you would be facing. I don't want to discourage you. I want to encourage you, but I want to prepare you for this is the things that are going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. I've had people that I've sat across from here and I promoted them. I've even given 2 or 3 interviews. And you know what they've done? Deleted the flyer off their page, unfollowed me, and went on another podcast and talked about me. And I never understood that. Like, hey, bro, didn't I just show you fucking mad love when I didn't even have to?
Yeah.
So I say that to encourage future podcasters that you will face obstacles like that, but you know what? Keep going.
Yeah. Because I always think you can't allow the actions of somebody else to dictate what you do.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's like you're not going to start changing who you are just because what they did. It's like, nah, I'm going to keep moving forward in my mission. Right. I'm going to keep moving forward with doing what I do. But if they want to act like that, they have to live with that.
Yes. I had a American Cholo here. And I'm going to give a shout out to American Cholo.
Much love to Gil.
Yeah, he came through and I asked him a question. Do you get a lot of hate? And he said, oh, yeah, it's pretty much all social media stuff. Mm-hmm. But he said, never once in person has anybody ever approached me and said something negative. It's all been love. And it's been the same thing with me, bro. Mm-hmm. Like every time, hey, at least once a day, one person recognizes me. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And you know what they tell me? Keep going, my bro.
Oh, yeah.
Keep going. Continue to speak for us.
Yes, sir.
And you know what? I am just a voice, not the voice. And I want to make that clear. You are a voice. American Cholo is a voice. We need more voices for our people, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
So now that we have the technology, I'll tell you what, you know what? Facebook Live is free. Instagram, Live is free. YouTube is free. The only thing that's not free is internet. Yeah. So if you don't have internet, you got to get a job. Yeah. So
let's go to McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly. Or library. So, but yeah, you know what? Let your voice be heard. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And let's bring our people all up. Let's help each other.
Yes, definitely.
Because once again, If we're waiting for help, you said it best. No one's coming.
Yeah, they ain't coming. They ain't coming for you. And that's what I would say. Like I don't, and I don't mean this to sound like I'm exclusive just to Chicanos and Chicanas, because I'm not. I'm for everybody, right? But I do anything I do, I keep Chicanos and Chicanas in mind, because I know, like I said, it's not that people are rooting against us. It's just that they're indifferent to our struggle and success. So somebody has to be able to, to say, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. Like, yeah, if somebody else needs help, if they're not Chicano or Chicana, I'm gonna help them. It's no big deal. I got you, dog. Don't worry about it. But I do want to build something so that, like you right now, I love the way it is, and it could get bigger, because if somebody ends up on Tony A's show, right? Like that can instantly help them in what they're doing. And that's, we have a sort of infrastructure now that we lacked 10, 12 years ago. Yeah. Right before it was Pocos Pero Locos. Yeah. No knock to them, but like that shit fizzled out. Yeah. And a lot of them, like, I don't know what happened to them, right? Like, right. But now it's like we have infrastructure now. You can go here, like you said, you go on American Cholo, you go a lot of different places and get your voice heard. Yes.
Man, can you imagine if me and you got that $100 million deal, bro? I guarantee you no Raza will be hating on us because they all want to be on our show.
Yeah, and it's all good. I mean, I'm pretty sure we would still help out as many people as we could.
And that's my point. We would still bring along people. My last point before I hand it over to you to give your shout outs, okay? My last point is this. There are people that this is the number one complaint about Roadium Radio. You interview a bunch of nobodies, okay? Nobody knows them. Nobody gives a fuck about them. And here's what I say. It's crazy that you would talk about your own people that way. I don't care if you're Mexican, Salvadorian, Guatemalan, de Honduras. It doesn't matter to me, okay? To me, it's all raza.
Yes, sir.
You would talk shit about us. But when it comes to another ethnicity, if they're performing at the Staples Center or at the Forum, you'll go buy your motherfucking tickets and you'll go over there and sell out and support Snoop Dogg, Game, DJ Quick, Ice Cube, or whatever. And I'm not saying not to. But what I'm saying is that you will go support them before you will support your own, but you want to talk shit and put down our people, okay? My thing is this. Ice Cube at one point was a nobody.
Yep.
Snoop at one point was a fucking nobody. All of these guys at one point were nobody. And I continue to preach this. Help me make our people a somebody.
Yeah, you never know. The next 10 superstars might have just visited this, this Roadium Radio, right?
Absolutely.
And it's like, don't stop them from doing that. Why stop? Like, oh, he's nobody. Make him somebody.
Make him somebody. And you know what? My thing is this. I always tell artists, when you blow the fuck up, because that's my hope for them, just come back and give us another interview.
Yes, sir.
And they say, all right. So when I tell you this, incredible Javier, when you blow the fuck up, don't forget about little old Tony A. Come back and give us another interview.
Hey, I'm telling you, you're one of my favorite interviews, Tony, that I've ever done. And I'm not lying. And I'll say this to the end of time. Growing up, my two favorite albums were Scandalous and Ain't a Damn Thing Changed by WC and the Mad Circle.
Wow.
Like, those are my two favorite albums. It's just that, to me, it was like the soundtrack of my life.
Right? And you know what? You told me that on the phone, bro.
Yeah.
And you still haven't changed your story.
Oh, I'm not going to. It's the truth, dog. Like, since I was a little kid, those were my two favorite albums. And I've never even talked to Dub C. I don't know if I ever will, but it's the truth.
Right.
Right? Like that. Those were my two favorite albums growing up. It just seemed like the soundtrack to what I was doing. And even now, like, when I'm cleaning or something, I'll put those shits on, and that shit pumps me the fuck up.
Hell yeah.
Like, I feel young again.
I'll tell you what, when I interview Dub C here, I'll invite you.
Oh, I appreciate that.
No, I'm serious. Yeah. I'm serious, big dog. So other than that, big dog, anything that I didn't ask you, anything you want to share, anything you want to promote, anything, right now is the time, bro.
Yeah, appreciate it, everybody. If you get the chance, every Friday, 1 p.m., Traviesos, the animated series. We're going to be on our, I believe, 7th episode on Friday. Tomorrow we have the Nasty Crew Mount Rushmore. We'll be discussing gangster movies. So we have a panel of 4 people.
Okay.
We all discuss what's going to be the top 4 gangster movies for the Nasty Crew. So we do that. We'll have that. We'll have the Day Room on Saturday. Mental Health Monday. Much love to the Nasty Crew. Much love to all my YA babies. Much love to my baby girl, Rosie. Love you, baby. And to the family. And again, special shout out to Tony A. I appreciate the hospitality, G.
No, thank you, my brother. You know what? I'm going to ask you for something. maybe sometime in the future, invite me back, bro.
Yeah, for sure. You're always the door's open.
Hey, ask me my favorite gangster movies, bro. like seriously. One thing I will say, when it comes to Raza movies, I will say it was never Boulevard Nights. It was never Blood In, Blood Out. Even though I was supposed to do a song for that soundtrack.
Oh, dope.
Okay, and we'll talk about that. Why it never happened, but it was always American Me, because I think a lot of us watch American Me and we think that could have been me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I think is a really dope one that is very slept on? It's maybe because it's not too much of a gangster movie, but it has gangster elements to it. I love Mi Familia. You know, Chucho was the shit.
Yeah.
Like and then it just the story, the generations.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, you have to tell you what. That'll be one of our topics. We'll talk gangster movies, and then if you want to talk horror movies, because I'm a big horror fan.
Oh, let's do it.
So hell
let's
yeah,
do it.
So he said it. Okay, I called them out live. So
Yes,
other
sir.
than that, any shout outs, Big Dog? Any? I know you said the Nasty Crew. You get everybody else. City of El Monte. So anything else, bro? Anything you want to promote?
Just all the other YouTube channels. I hope I don't miss anyone. If I do, my bad. You know, we talked about Marvelous, talked about American Cholo, Streets Ain't Loyal, the G. Lou Show, fucking.
You know, the G. Lou Show. I think he follows me, if I'm correct. I'm not too familiar with the show. I think he's been on your platform, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I want to bring him on, bro.
He's in he'll come to LA every now and then.
He's not from LA?
No, but he'll come down.
Okay.
He has been down. So yeah, I'll definitely, that's the boy right there. I recommend. He's
much shout out to G. Lou.
Yeah, G. Lou. Much love, G. Lou.
Okay.
Dope individual.
Absolutely, bro. I see him on my page. Sometimes he comments. Sometimes he reposts. So you know what? I support people that support me, bro.
Yes, sir.
So other than that, I want to come back on your show, Alex. There's something I was gonna fucking say, bro. I keep forgetting something else I was gonna share. But anyways, other than that, I want to thank everybody that, once again, that's tuned in, everybody that subscribed, everybody that helped me to reach 40K. Much love, much respect to you guys. People that donated on the live chat, people that not only support me, but support him. Once again, follow him, Incredible Javier on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Look for him. And you go live a lot, don't you?
Yeah, I do try to interact as much as I can.
Okay.
Appreciate it, Gil.
Go ahead, bro. Announce it.
Shout out to American Cholo. He dropped 20 books. I think he's dropped 40 in total today.
Much
Awesome.
love, Gil.
Hell yeah. You know what? I'm going to say this. When people bless others, believe it or not, I believe in like when you plant good seed grows.
Oh, yeah.
So him blessing us, you know what? I want to say blessings to him. So, you know, I believe, because I'm a firm believer in you know, it's better to give than to receive.
Yes, sir.
So, but, you know, I hope and pray that he receives double what he gives us. So other than that, once again, I want to give a shout out to Twixxy. I wish her nothing but the best. Much love, much respect. Thank you, Twixxy, for blessing us with an awesome interview. Continue to support her. Continue to follow her. You know, show to her show, buy her merch or whatever. Buy her flowers. Buy her helium. So anyway, so yeah, not the Nas. So yeah. Other than that, Incredible Javier. Thank you once again. Thank you for coming to the neighborhood. Let me give a shout out to not only to your wife for loving you, supporting you, but also to La Patrona.
Corey La Patrona, much love.
Yeah, Corey La Patrona. So I'm gonna give a shout out to my boy Alex Cervantes Enterprise. There's not a hoopty that he can't fix because he could do it in the mix. The hip hop Jedi, Norbert. We gotta think of a better name than Norbert because that can be maybe. And my boy B Scallons for having me promote this. So other than that, we'll be back Sunday with a special guest. Other than that, much love, much respect. Everybody, American Cholo. Everybody, much love. God bless. Talk to you later. Gracias, carnal.
Gracias,
And we out of here.
homie.